I love to see the towns passing by and to ride these rails neath God's blue sky. Let me travel this land from the mountains to the sea, 'cause that's the life I believe He meant for me. And when I'm gone and at my grave you stand, say God called home your rambling man.
Welcome to Ramblin' Man Podcast episode number 107. This one's with Joanna Wooten, and we talk about her path to becoming an actor. She's still kind of in the early stages of it, but it's still a fascinating talk nonetheless. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to check back in with her in a year or two to see how far she's progressed. If you'd like to find more information about Joanna, you can find her on Instagram at K.Jo_WOOTEN. Give her a follow, tell her Ramble Man sent you. Sponsor this week is Feral Giant. Feral Giant is a graphic design, illustration, and social media consultation company based here in Knoxville, Tennessee. So they do work for clients big and small all over the country, all over the globe, in fact. But they also do photography, videography, video editing, and audio editing, website design, SEO, writing, content development. Hell, they'll babysit your kids if it nets them money. So make sure you give them a follow on social media on either Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or LinkedIn at @FeralGiant. And be sure to give them an email today and hire them for your next project. Without much further ado, here's the episode. So I recently hit episode 100 of this.
No shit.
Yeah. And my episode 100... and I'll let my dear listeners, all three of you, hear this. I had on Aaron Donovan.
Uh-huh.
There's a large portion cut out.
I'm not surprised.
Considering our pre-interview part, I went off on something, and I love using this term, calls it being political. She steadfast. She worked in news too long. She was like, I'm not going to say anything while I'm being recorded.
Yeah.
That could cause any issues. I was like, I don't give a shit. Here's what I think. And I went off. And as she left, she was like, if I need to come back and we need to record more, just let me know. It's like, I don't give a shit. 5 minutes later, it's like, can you come back and we record more in another day? So that's what happened. So there is 25 to 30 minutes of that where it sounds like I am yelling at her. And I'm not yelling at her. I have very strong opinions about something very similar to what we talked about before.
Yeah.
The episode. And
yeah. You just get fired up.
I also am correct on my feelings. Because there are certain things like what God, this is going to kill anybody who's listening. There are certain things like what we talked about before. I don't just say good or bad. I have all the thoughts.
Yeah. Because
I thought it through about, no, this is why I feel this way.
Yeah.
So I feel comfortable in my
decision.
Curmudgeonness. Yeah. That's the word.
Well, at least, some people who don't like certain things, just don't like them for one reason or another reason, but at least you go through the thought process.
Well, this goes through, I remember when my little sister was 17 or 18, she was complaining about Knoxville. Mm-hmm. And I said, you can either shut up, do something about it, or leave.
Yeah.
It's like, just complaining about it is not going to solve any problem.
It's so annoying when people do that, by the way.
So, in my little group of friends, it's funny hearing them piss and moan about stuff. And I'm just like, you dumbasses. You could do something about any of that. Oh, no, that'd require effort. Oh, okay.
They just want people to listen to them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the funny part is all of them, although one of them who does may not like hearing this, have never had to worry about money. That's a better way to put it. They've never had to worry about money. Whereas I grew up pretty poor.
Mm-hmm.
And so them saying stuff, oh, it just cost $2,000. I was like, oh, just $2,000.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. Yeah.
Well, it's like, is there a payment plan for that? Do you take plasma?
I don't, you know what? I don't use my left arm that much anymore. You want to just take it?
Yeah.
Medical treatments. Just take it up here so I can sleep better on my side. That would feel so much better.
Yeah.
Than I have to fight with your arm. Yeah.
I'm so with you on that.
But yeah, it is interesting because I'll sit around and listen to them talk about stuff and I was like, y'all are adorable. That's what I've started calling them. And it's funny because I'm smoking a cigar, so I look like a crazy person, like a villain. Y'all are adorable. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Knoxville is in an interesting place right now, and I hope the douches don't take over. That's my polite way of saying what I'm thinking.
You're so political.
Yeah, I'm so political. I learned nothing from Aaron Donovan.
No.
That will be the pull quote. I will send that to her. I've learned nothing from Aaron. I should be more political.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be more political. I went off on something in a public forum on Facebook the other day to where I was like, should I be? Yeah, I should probably be doing this. And then somebody interacted with me that worked for one of the companies who does not disclose that they work for one of the companies.
Oh.
And I let them go twice, and I almost sent them a text because I have their number and said, if you say one more thing back to me disagreeing with me, I'm going to say, are you saying this as an employee of X, or are you saying this? Yeah. I was like, because that's not. You
can't play both sides there. Yeah.
That one I will tell you later. With that, if I can remember, I will tell you that one later because I don't think it probably involves people and that's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's all good.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Everyone's innocent until proven guilty, right?
I don't know.
In a way,
probably, maybe. I don't know.
But they're judged.
Yeah,
first.
They're judged harshly by me. Yeah. I missed that part of the Bible where it says, "Judge not, lest ye be judged."
Yeah. Judge away.
Judge away. Fire away. I am the king of transitions. I can't think of a transition, so I'm gonna just. You're a big. Here's a fun fact that I did not know about you until later. I did not realize you were a movie nut until you invited me to the foreign film meetup group.
Yes.
Okay. So how did were watching movies and stuff a big thing when you were a kid, or were your parents really into movies?
No, not specifically. I mean, I remember growing up, my mom going to Blockbuster on Saturday mornings and just watching, 80s movies that were coming out.
Yeah.
So I have seen my fair share of really random movies that people don't really actually see. I mean, like Amadeus.
Oh. No. So no, when you say that, my buddy the Todd and I called it the HBO effect. Okay. Because up until mid 2000s, HBO would show the most random shit. Yeah. And the one I always point to is, it was 1993. I think I was in between 2-a-days of football, and I came home and I was tired, and I laid on the couch, and I flipped around the TV, and I was still a big Sherlock Holmes fan. Yeah. And all of a sudden, this movie from the 70s came on, a Sherlock Holmes film. I was like, I've never seen this one on HBO. Yeah. In 1993. And it turned out it was Billy Wilder's. He directed it. Do you know Billy Wilder? Oh, yeah. Okay. And it's called The Private Life of Sherlock Holmes. And it's one of the best representations of Sherlock Holmes.
I'm going to have to watch that. I've never seen it.
It's great.
Oh, okay.
And I sat there and watched it. And the music is glorious. But it was that's what HBO used to be. So I have all these random things. Dad loves telling the story about. He's watching Man on Fire with Denzel Washington. He was like, this is very familiar. He figured out, because by that point we had IMDb, that there was actually a cheap Italian film with Scott Glenn in it, made in 1985, called Man on Fire, that film was a remake of. And Scott Glenn was in the new one. That's why it seemed so familiar.
Yeah.
He was like, wait, that guy was Denzel's. This is weird. And he had seen it on HBO in like 85, 86.
Yeah.
So that I always call that the HBO effect of like, yeah, when these kids nowadays, because HBO now is like, we're going to show Transformers on all 6 channels 3 times a day.
Absolutely.
They never show anything like random.
Well, I think Stars kind of took over that for HBO.
It?
So like Stars now is like actually showing
random
good random movies. They have like 6 channels like Encore or West or whatever, but like it's what HBO used to be.
Okay.
I guess.
So you would see through Blockbuster weird Amadeus. How old were you
Dude, I was like 8.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh, this is awesome. Also another one, Beaches.
Beaches.
With Bette
Barbara Hershey and Bette Midler.
Yeah. So I just saw like these random movies that like, growing up, like on a Saturday morning, my mother's crying to Beaches, It's like, wow.
See, my parents were the opposite. We would go on like Friday evening and rent. And back then, the weird thing was this was a smaller, God, I almost sound like a hipster when I say this. It was a smaller video store. It was before Knoxville had a Blockbuster. And we went in there and, they would only have 3 copies of the new releases. So mom and dad would be like, well, screw it. They have a deal. It's like 3 movies and a video game for $10 or something. So we got to get 3 movies. So they would just pick shit at random.
Yeah.
And that's how we ended up watching a lot of stuff. And it was every Friday night. So over a weekend, we would watch 3 movies every weekend.
That's great. And people don't do that anymore either, because it's always like, okay, what do you want to watch? I want, specific, you don't go out and pick random things anymore.
And how many people get stuck looking for shit and don't decide, and it's an hour later.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's insane. It is, I will say, someone may have come over to my house and they had an HBO account and we watched a movie and it didn't log out when they left. I don't know how that works.
You devil.
I don't know how that works. But
you'll always be logged in forever.
Hopefully. Your lips to God, dude. But I was looking through and they have a bunch of great old foreign films on there because TCM is part of HBO Max. So I was looking and I was like, I know y'all have done the foreign films. Tarkovsky is one that I've never seen. I don't think I've seen any of his films. The Russian director who did Solaris, the original Solaris.
Okay. I haven't seen, no.
Stalker. I'm trying to think of what else. There's a bunch of movies that are.
I'm passing the wand to you, buddy. You're going to have to take up foreign movie night.
Oh. I don't know. Mine may be so damn weird. Like, so, and since I can't screen movies at the Central Collective because of the pandemic, I started recommending every week a new film. And it's funny because back in the day, when I found Downtown West in like 94, 95, I started going to so many independent films when they were still showing independent films.
Yeah.
And the film I posted about the other night, I was like, this film is called 5x2. And it's Valerie Bruni Tedeschi. It's a Francois Ozon film. He is the guy who did Swimming Pool.
Okay.
Have you ever seen Swimming Pool?
It sounds familiar, but no, I haven't.
Swimming Pool. We're going to talk movies, so I'll tell you this.
No, you're like overtaking me here on this.
No. So, no, I'm just an idiot and a nerd. There were times when I would go and I would watch 10 films a weekend. 7 of those would be in the theater.
Wow.
I would actually pick theaters and times, and because I was like, I can't do this all day in one theater. They're going to think I'm weird. So I just go to other theaters. Like, that's not weird, And I should have back then, I should have went to Downtown West and said, here's $10. I'm going to watch every movie that I can in this theater. And they wouldn't have given a shit.
No.
Back then. But I went and saw Swimming Pool at Downtown West as Charlotte Rampling, British actress, had a young French actress, Ludwig Singer or something like that. And I'm in the theater, in the big theater, and there's nobody, like there's 10 people in there, and I'm sitting 6-7 seats over from like 3 grandmothers, because that's who was always in there. Was So I'm sitting there, and I'm gonna get graphic. I'm gonna pre-apologize. So there's a scene in that film. Ludwig Sevinger, whatever her name is, French actress, very attractive young woman. She's naked a lot in that movie. But there is a scene where she's laying by a pool, the swimming pool, titular swimming pool, titular. I think she was topless, and the guy who cleans the pool came up to her and was just like leering at her. It's a little thrill, and then all of a sudden it just zooms into his Speedos, and you see him pleasuring himself through the Speedos, and that takes up the entire screen. And I'm just sitting there. I look at that for a second, then I look over at the 3 grandmothers and I go, I'm sitting next to 3 grannies watching some dude help himself to his Speedos. It's like, this is not a place I had ever thought I would be in my life. Cool. I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing here? So that guy, Francois Ozon.
Did they walk out? Did they have like hot flashes? Like,
I don't want to think about that. They weren't looking at me. If they were looking at me, I would have been like, no. Spray like a cat. No. So he still releases like a film every year. I did not know. And he had one coming out the next year that was called 5x2. And it's about this husband and wife, and it's telling the story of their relationship in 5 different periods. 5 by 2 people.
Okay.
It's very good, very dramatic. This is not really a spoiler. The first time is they just got divorced.
Okay.
So that's like the first scene. And it goes to like when they had trouble, and then something, and then when they got married, and then that's the 5. And I'm watching this film, and it's very good, but it's very just dramatic.
Yeah.
And heavy.
It's life.
And have you ever seen the Before films? Richard Linklater, Ethan Hawke?
No. I haven't.
Although
I know.
That's a weird thing. So I've seen all of those in the theater as they came out.
Oh.
And the weird thing is, like, Before Sunrise, I think, is the first one. It came out in 95. And I was 16, 15, 17, 16. I was 16 when that movie came out. And they were like 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
Before Sunset comes out in like 2004, 2005, and they were like 30-year-olds.
Yeah.
And I was like,
and you were growing up with them. Yeah.
And one of my friends, Courtney Bowers, because I have to give last names on this. My friend Stephanie Romer, if she's listening, she fussed at me about that once, and I now have to say last names.
Yeah.
And she was like, please stop doing that. So I'm doing it just to poke her. My friend Courtney, I recommended those films to her. I was like, but I would almost take like 5 years in between each one. Because who you are as a person, you will not get the second film. You will now, because you're not a kid. You know, no offense. You're not a
Thank you.
20.
God, I'm so like, just shattered me just now.
You're going to take your donuts and go home.
Yeah, like, God.
Oh, my God. See me, I'm starting to cry. Oh, God, no.
I didn't know this was going to be so hurtful.
No. But I told her, because she was like 17 or 18 when I recommended that to her. And I was like, I would almost watch the first film now and wait 5 years. It's like, I wouldn't watch all 3 of them because it's not going to hit you the same.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was going back to, it was interesting going from like what my parents would give me, and they liked independent films. Like my mom's favorite film is this River Phoenix film, maybe the last film he did, called Dogfight.
Okay.
That it is a true independent film. It's him and Lily Taylor. He's a guy going off to serve in Vietnam, a Navy guy, and him and his buddies have a dogfight where they try to find the ugliest girl in town and invite her to a party that night, their going away party, and whoever brought the ugliest girl wins.
Oh.
But he ends up falling, spoiler alert, for Lily Taylor, and that's one of my mom's favorite films. Who the fuck knows what that film is? Like, nobody knows that film.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I guess you find, like, different weird movies that no one's heard about if you really like the actors and the actresses, I guess. Like you go down the rabbit hole.
If you follow a director.
Yeah. Like that's what Netflix did to me. Like they're really good at that.
Yeah.
When you follow down the...
Well, the ozone thing, it was wild. The reason why I went to see 5x2 is because after Swimming Pool got a lot of good reviews. Mm-hmm. So I went and saw it because it was what was playing that week. And that was the early days of Netflix, which you can see. I still get the DVDs.
Do they still do that? They send
it's sitting
DVDs
right there.
Still out?
Like,
oh
yeah.
My God.
Because foreign films, it's almost impossible to find foreign films streaming online, especially ones like Tarkovsky.
Yeah.
Like, it's impossible unless you have the Criterion. I was like, I can't keep subscribing, man.
You have 20 subscriptions of...
yeah. But because I like Swimming Pool, I was able to go back and watch like 3 of his previous French films because of Netflix.
Yeah.
And that's why I keep the DVDs. I only get like 2 a month. And everything in there is foreign films. Like there's one that I watched last year, The Umbrellas of Schoenberg.
Okay.
And it is a big sister to La La Land.
Oh.
And when you watch it, it's like, oh shit, this is a big sister to La La Land. And I think it's Catherine Deneuve.
Did you hate that?
Yeah, it's like Catherine Deneuve and it's a musical. There's not a word spoken in the film. It's all sung and they can't sing.
Oh.
So it's fast, but the color, like you all would love it. I think you all would find it interesting.
Yeah.
Jimmy, I don't know. Jimmy may find it boring. I don't know. But I will say stick to the end because it has this weird ending that I do not want to spoil. Mm-hmm. That at the end of that film, I was just sitting here like, fuck. That was good. That was good. And oh, God. Like, it is nuts. But, like, the color palette and everything is just insane. It's so...
The Umbrellas of
Schoenberg. It's on HBO Max. If y'all have HBO Max, it's on TCM. Because when I saw it was on there, I was like, I'm going to try not to watch this.
Yeah.
A lot. I need to watch all these films I haven't watched. Okay, so you grow up, you're watching Amadeus and Beaches. We all got. I will always bring it back around. So we would always go on Friday nights, so that's fascinating. I think we never did Saturdays because I usually had sports. So we would watch shit at night after sports. But Friday, I think, is when the new releases were put on the shelves. So mom and dad were like, we got to get there when they open to try and get
it was a fight.
New release was.
To get
we got to see Against All Odds.
Yes.
The minute because back then it was also like a year until it came out on VHS and shit. Yeah. Okay, so Beaches and Amadeus. I'm trying to think, what other films do you think were outside? Were you still also watching like kid shit? Like,
yeah, I mean, like that was Nickelodeon, and then MTV showed up, and well, obviously MTV was there when
yeah.
I'm not a kid.
Oh my God, you're gonna give me such. Whereas I'm sitting in my head running through stuff. I was like, you're too young for that. You won't remember that.
Yeah.
Because I was like Liquid Television, but Liquid Television, you would have been way too young for Liquid Television.
I don't know what Liquid Television.
Liquid Television was like early '90s. It was on MTV. It was all animated. That's where Beavis and Butthead started.
Oh no, I know Liquid Television.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aeon Flux, that weird anime thing that got turned into an awful Charlize Theron film.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was
so that was like after school,
Yeah.
Stuff like grew up with Daria.
Oh yeah, Daria.
So
I was way too young watching Doug and Rugrats. I loved Doug, Rugrats, and Clarissa Explains It All.
Yeah.
I was like a 15-year-old football player watching those three things.
They were good.
They were good. Yeah, they were very good.
Yeah. So like my movie buffness, like had a hiccup there for the moment watching Rugrats and Doug.
Okay.
But, yeah.
But you Beaches and do you remember your favorite movie when you were a kid? Or the thing you watched the most?
The thing I watched the most was Aladdin.
Okay.
Yeah, because that was like,
yeah,
Robin Williams, and you had like, it was good music. I don't,
the era of the big white plastic VHS
Yep.
cake. Yeah.
Like Yeah.
Yeah, my mom and dad still had my sister's old ones of those, and they're like, "Are these worth?" I was like, "I don't know if they're worth money. They're probably not. They were so mass produced.
They really were. Yeah,
I can't imagine." Okay, Aladdin.
Because I have a sister that's 2 years younger than me, and she's very she's a go getter. So like if she wanted something, like it happened. Even it didn't matter if I wanted something different.
Okay.
She, we're gonna watch Aladdin and we're gonna watch The Lion King. We're gonna watch like all the Disney movies. So I was like my taste in things grew up with hers alongside of hers.
Okay.
I guess in a way. So
like, oh, that sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Okay.
I'm along for the ride.
Did you sing along with all of those?
Absolutely.
Okay, there we go. There we go. We're getting into this thick of it.
I mean, who doesn't want to sing along with Jasmine?
And I think in that era, didn't they start like re-releasing some of the older Disney films? Like my two favorite Disney films. I think I was too. Although that's funny as hell. I just said I watched Doug and Rugrats and Clarissa Explained All. It's like I was too old for that Aladdin. And those missed me. Like I've taken my little sister to the majority of Pixar films. We had a good run up until like the last 3 or 4 years. Like I had taken her to everything.
Yeah.
A new Pixar film came out. Let's go.
Yeah.
We're going. She's 11 and a half years younger than me.
Okay.
But they started re-releasing, and two of my favorites were The Sword and the Stone.
Okay.
And Robin Hood. I love that old Robin Hood.
Dude, Robin Hood is like a classic.
Yeah.
That's
because that
so
soundtrack
good.
with Roger Miller singing the songs. It's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah. Okay.
And the Jungle Book.
Jungle Book's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it's weird because I think those films came out and I think Disney was kind of in a slump and shit. And it was like, these are some of the best films they
Absolutely.
did. Like, I think Sword in the Stone is not highly regarded. I was like, that film's amazing. Like,
I've never actually seen it.
Oh, no? It's very good.
That's like one of the only ones I
Well,
have.
it's, King Arthur, but when he's a little kid, and Merlin is an old kook, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, that was a weird era because when I was really young, animated films weren't. So I was born in 1978, and so the 80s, it was more of. I would be curious to hear your thoughts on like some of these weird 80s films I grew up with like Explorers, Fly the Navigator, Last Starfighter. The one I watched the most was Back to the Future.
Okay.
Back to the Future, I remember one night we had bootlegged it from Showtime because we're classy. And I was like, I'm going to watch what a 7-year-old, 8-year-old would say. I'm going to watch Back to the Future, back to back, more than anybody. I'm going to set the record for it. Yeah. And so I watched it like 8 times in a row, stayed up all night.
Yeah.
And I was like, who?
You got the record,
I got
man.
the record, yeah. I got the placard right here on the wall.
There it is. It's beautiful.
Thank you. It's pewter. It's pewter. But yeah, like when I was a kid, Explorers is the film I probably watched the most.
Okay. And like, so you're going to laugh at me, but like, I never watched any.
Oh, okay. Well, I think the road I was going down was like, it was weird. It seemed like in the 80s, it was not animated. It was what do you call that? Real life.
Stop action? Or...
Real life.
Okay.
No, like Goonies.
Like,
I'm looking at Goonies.
The Furbies.
No, Goonies. Not Furbies. No, that it was like real films. Like I felt like in the 80s, a lot of the kids' films were actual kids. It wasn't cartoons. Or wasn't.
Yes.
Like
I
Gremlins.
Agree. Yeah.
All those.
Yep.
Although no kid should have ever watched Gremlins.
No, that's what I was thinking about the Furbies.
Oh, yeah.
The Furbies and the Gremlins are like...
Yeah, they are very similar looking.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the 80s and then late 80s, 90s, it went back to cartoons. Mm-hmm. So there is that weird window of the 80s.
Yeah, like, so one of the movies I remember watching a ton in the 80s was Never Ending Story.
Oh shit, yeah. Watched that a lot.
So yeah, that was my...
Okay. Princess Bride was another one.
Yep.
Where it was like, this feels like I shouldn't be watching this. Like this is grown up shit, even though I'm a kid.
Yeah. But it's so good because now, like, when you watch it, it's still like entertaining.
Yeah. And the story behind that, Carrie Elways wrote a book on the making of The Princess Bride. And then he got different people that were in the film or behind the scenes to write commentary on what he was talking about.
Oh, man.
So, like, all of a sudden, Rob Reiner busts in for like 3 paragraphs and talks about it.
That's great.
Robin Wright, Mandy Patinkin, all of them.
Yeah.
And they talk about the stories about Andre the Giant are amazing. I love Andre the Giant so much.
He was great, yeah.
So you did get some 80s.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so the problem that I guess it wasn't actually a problem. It was just the way of growing up. My parents are Polish.
Okay.
So, like straight off the boat.
Okay.
So it was it's a culture shock because literally like they got here in 82, I think, and I was born in 86.
Okay.
Or 83, something like that, right? Like, well, no, I know when I was born. No.
Everybody listening like, did she just second guess what year she was born?
No.
Okay. So they came then.
So like it was a weird, like, I guess looking back on it, I don't think they were very opinionated about what was good in American cinema.
Okay.
So like stuff like people, I can't think of an example right now, but like stuff people would watch, be like, oh, that's,
trash.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trash, and it's like feeding the minds of little children. You know what I mean? Like it was very so the stuff that
you've not seen Tarkovsky, because that feels a Russian. I'm trying to think of Polish directors. Is Kozlovsky a Polish director? Do you know him?
I think that's a potato.
I don't know. Do you know him, Krzysztof Kozlovsky? He did the Three Colors trilogy, although they were French. Although I do not think he is French.
Roman Polanski is Polish.
We're not going to talk about him. I made the mistake of actually reading about what happened. I was like, oh, I want to punch him in the fucking face.
Oh, yeah. He's redacted. Redact this, please.
Yeah. Kurt, cut all this out. I have an imaginary. He's not imaginary. Kurt, cut that part out. I just looked this up. Here's another one. These are on HBO Max.
Okay.
The Three Colors trilogy, but it's all about France. Christophe.
France is more, is a lot more entertaining than Poland.
Kozlowski, a Polish director.
Yeah.
So I don't know why he did this French, but it is great. Like blue, white, and red. So like blue has Juliette Binoche.
Okay.
White has Julia Delpy, and then red has Isabelle Angie. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Juliette Binoche. Irene Jacob. But they're very good. But they are very, like, heady dramas.
Yeah.
But they were great. And they're on HBO Max.
Okay.
But he is a Polish director.
This is sponsored.
Yeah. By HBO Max, please. I swear I will log out of that account if you'll give me an account. Okay, so they were very opinion. So what were some of the films that they like? Did they like foreign films, or did they were there some American films that they could get behind?
So they weren't very into films as much. I guess my mom going to Blockbuster on Saturday morning was like, okay, this looks good. And
okay.
She just it wasn't like she was super into what was happening, I guess.
Okay.
It was just
Well, I thought with the opinion on what was trash.
Well, right, yeah. So I was able to watch E.T.
Okay. That's good.
What other ones? But I never saw the Gremlins growing up. Never. I think I watched Back to the Future. Indiana Jones was another one that I saw.
Okay.
But
Rocky? Any of the Rocky films?
No, it was too bloody.
Oh. Okay. No, I'm just thinking of Rocky 4, where it is literally him going to Russia and going, America. No. I was like, oh, that would probably not be.
We did also get sent to bed, too, when they were watching movies. So, it was one of those.
Yeah.
So maybe that's where it comes from, is now I'm making up time. I want to watch all of it.
I remember when they rented Dragnet and they wouldn't let me watch it. So now I'm going to watch Dragnet.
All 15 seasons of it.
Oh, no, the movie.
Oh, the movie. Oh, okay.
With Tom Hanks and Dan Aykroyd. You are good. You do not need to see that film. It is terrible.
This is going to ruin my actual Dragnet experience.
Yeah. My parents were the opposite. They would let me. We went to a midnight screening on New Year's Eve night to see Three Men and a Baby.
What?
Or it was like a 10 o'clock showing or something. Oh, yeah, my parents did not. I was watching Robin Williams comedy specials when I was like 5. I was like, Mom, what's a... And I would drop the C-U word.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, you don't ever say that word. It's like, Mork just said it.
Yeah.
No, you don't say that word. So, yeah, they didn't give a shit
Yeah.
about what I watched. And they would take me to a lot of stuff. Because I was the only kid for like 10 years. So they treated me kind of like a little brother some of the times.
That's awesome.
I'm trying to think of what other weird-ass films. I'm trying to think when Three Men and a Baby came out. I think it was like 87, so I've been like 9.
I did see that one.
Taking a 9-year-old to go see a 10 o'clock showing of Three Men and a Baby on New Year's Eve night, that's kind of
awesome.
Weird. Yeah.
We were being taken to church in midnight mass on Christmas Eve.
Polish. There you
Polish,
go.
yeah.
Polish. There you go. I remember we did go see Santa Claus the movie.
Okay.
Like 85.
Was that Tim Allen?
No, that's the Santa Claus. And I took my little sister to see that.
Okay.
But Santa Claus the movie came out like 85, 86. You would know the guy who played Santa Claus because you've seen The Big Lebowski.
Yes.
So he's the actual Jeffrey Lebowski, the bigger one.
Oh, that guy. Okay, yeah,
David something is his name.
Yeah.
He's been in tons of shit. So it was him, Dudley Moore played an elf.
Okay, I love Dudley Moore.
And John Lithgow played like a kid's toy candy manufacturer. He was the bad guy.
Okay.
But I still remember my parents telling me, it's like, we fell asleep in that theater. It was so damn hot.
Oh.
And we were dressed warmly because it was cold outside. And we fell asleep in the theater. I was like, I could have run amok. Because I think we were the only ones in the theater.
Yeah, everyone else is at church, you heathen.
Yeah. No, that one we saw some other time. We didn't see it. You heathen shit. Trust me, I spent plenty of time in church with my grandmothers when I was a kid, falling asleep in the pews, eating all of her Tic Tacs.
Oh my God.
I like the orange ones.
Oh, the orange ones are the freaking best.
Yeah. And certs. The
Certs.
weird
gold
certs.
Yeah.
I don't know what flavor they were, but they were, and they don't make them anymore. I'm sure they're not
I haven't seen a
toxic
cert in a while.
I buy breath savers now. I used to chew gum.
They're kind of the same.
Yeah. But when I got back into doing that as opposed to gum, the gold certs were still available for like 6 months. And then I couldn't get them anymore. I was like, damn it.
You should have stocked up.
I know. Quality.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're watching films.
Yeah.
Are they allowing like TV and shit too? Or?
Yeah. I mean, like after school, MTV was like the devil. And that's, before they came home, I was filling in all my, I watched like Korn music videos. Like, oh
MTV,
my God.
The devil. And then going to church afterwards to repent for watching MTV.
Absolutely. I was a sinner.
Korn music. Oh, good Lord.
You know when Korn came out?
I had their first album. I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Like TRL, like the whole thing. And then like, oh my God. And every single time it never failed. My dad would come home right before they did number one. I'm like, no, I want to find out who number one is. Never, like ever. Every day.
You could rattle off 10 through 2 to any day. You could pick a day.
Yeah.
You're like a savant. You can be like January 6th, 1998.
Yeah.
10 through 2.
Blue Eyes by Limp Bizkit. Got it.
Oh my God. But number one, haven't the foggiest.
Nope.
Oh my God.
Never.
I still remember AC/DC released an album. I think it was in 2000. And they were on TRL debuting their album. And all those kids clapping. I was like, none of these kids know who AC/DC are.
No. Their little mommies bought them a
hilarious.
Little ticket to...
Yeah. This is hilarious. And they're like, let's hear Stiff Upper Lip by AC/DC. And all the kids go, woo! I was like, y'all don't know shit. Y'all don't know who they are. Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
So TV, but...
So I thought of one movie that was like not allowed was Home Alone.
Really?
Because who in their right mind would leave their child at home on an airport and then like allowing this chaos to happen, right? Like that was stupid and trash.
So I'm gonna go down a side road. Have you watched that? I'm sorry, HBO Max, for promoting someone else on this. Have you watched the HBO? I'm right into it. Yeah, the Netflix special, The Movies That Made Us.
No.
There's a docuseries that it breaks down, and it's pretty good. They said the Home Alone rewrote the book on stunts.
Oh,
because they were like, it was a Warner Brothers cartoon come to life.
Yeah,
like the old Bugs Bunny, Roadrunner, Wile E. Coyote.
All the like.
They're like, this is literally all that come to life.
Huh. And I mean, that's really cool. I haven't thought of that like that. So that's awesome. I'm going to have to see all the stuff I need to watch. Like
I'm trying to remember. There were like two of them that I was like, I don't really give a shit about this. And one of them was Dirty Dancing, which I don't like. Dirty Dancing. I don't like Dirty Dancing.
Everyone loves Dirty Dancing.
I don't like Grease either.
Everyone loves Grease.
I don't like either one of them. But they did one on Dirty
it's so
Dancing.
Wholesome.
And there's an abortion, and I think both of those.
Is that what happened?
In Dirty Dancing, there is an abortion. Damn it!
Spoiler alert!
Everybody forgets that part. They just want to see baby dancing. I was like, no, there's a lot of.
We're there for Patrick Swayze. Let's be honest.
But they went in, and the Dirty Dancing Movies That Made Us is very good. It's very good, very well made. I didn't realize how independent like that film was made. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. Some of the. I love watching those.
Yeah.
Although it's funny watching the one on Back to the Future and the one on Ghostbusters. I'm like, I already know all this shit. I've seen these movies so many damn times.
Yeah.
Home Alone was the one.
Yeah, that was like, and then when I met Jimmy, he was like, "Oh, this is like the best Christmas movie ever." I'm like, "I've never like what?" And so in my mind, I'm like, "It's trash. Like, why would anyone want to watch that?"
Did it blow your mind the first time you saw it?
I mean, I feel like I didn't get like the phenomenon of it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it just passed by me, and I like couldn't appreciate it.
I saw that in the theater, and it was one of those. I was like, "This is very good," but I feel like it's been taken up to a level that I'm like, same thing with me with what is that damn Halloween movie that everybody loves now with Sarah Jessica Parker, Kathy and Jimmy, and Bette Midler?
Oh, Hocus Pocus.
I don't get that, and even The Nightmare Before Christmas, I don't get that either.
I don't get the Nightmare one. Yeah. I really liked Hocus Pocus. It used to be like my thing before, like you said, before it was like a huge thing.
Yeah. Oh my God, we have to watch this.
Yeah.
Do we?
I'm like, damn it.
Yeah.
They took away my Hocus Pocus.
Okay, so Home Alone you couldn't see.
Yeah. And so then like I guess if we're going chronologically, I never got back into. I mean, I always liked watching movies. Right, obviously, like the ones I could. But then I didn't start really into it until I got into college.
Okay.
And then I did a film minor.
Oh shit!
At UT.
Okay.
So, because they didn't have majors, right?
Yeah.
Like it was like little tiny, you know.
Yeah.
Little minor, but that was when like my love for movies like exponentially went up because the entire minor itself, all the classes, you know, you had independent movies.
Yeah.
There was also old movie. Like I've obviously so long ago because I'm so old, I don't remember the actual classes, but it was like classic cinema, right?
Right.
Like the movies that like were amazing. So I got to see Citizen Kane,
Casablanca.
All like there was a film noir period that I absolutely loved.
Oh yeah.
So like basically my entire movie collection right now at home is nothing but like classics from TCM.
Okay. TCM, yeah. Now I'm trying to think. I don't know if Megan. Do you know Megan Waugh? Megan Waugh.
Yeah.
So I want to think Meg was like a film minor at UT, and y'all are about the same age. So
she was probably there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean the professors were amazing. Like it was just such a great experience. So I'm plugging UT's Film Minor right now.
Oh my God. Hey, it's only HBO Max on this one.
Oh, that's right. Maybe Netflix.
Maybe Netflix. Sometimes Netflix. Yeah, that's always interesting to me because I've got a lot of friends who are like movie nerds. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to think how I can say this politely. Why start now? A lot of them I won't go, I can rattle off your top 10 without even trying because it's the same shit.
Pulp Fiction.
No, I can. Okay, so you love Alex Cox's Repo Man. Like you got to have the trash independent shit. And I was like, I can rattle off like you prefer Mean Streets over any of Scorsese's other work.
Yeah.
Like getting into that nerdy shit.
Yeah.
And all of them, I just laugh at them. I was like, actually, one of Scorsese's best films is
Taxi Driver one of them?
Taxi Driver is good. Taxi Driver, it's one of those, it's almost like when you talk about the Beatles and music. It's like Taxi Driver for its time broke all the rules.
Yeah.
God bless. Why am I forgetting? I can list off all the damn actors in this film, but I can't tell you. And the minute I see the name, I'm going to get angry because I'm going to know it. One of my favorite Martin Scorsese films that nobody talks about it, which is its own nerddom or hipsterdom.
I'm so pumped for this.
It has Griffin Dunne.
Okay.
You would know Griffin Dunne if you saw him. Griffin Dunne. Why is Griffin Dunne not coming up when I search for his name? After Hours.
Okay.
It's got Griffin Dunne, Rosanna Arquette. Shoot. Why am I blanking on her name? I think Cheech and Chong are in it. But it's
that's amazing.
Why am I blanking on her name? It's the woman who was the lead in Dogma. I've not had enough coffee today, apparently.
Oh, man.
And I'm gonna see her name and get angry. Linda Fiorentino.
Okay.
John Hurd, Terry Gard, Cheech and Chong, Catherine O'Hara, Verna Bloom, if you like old films.
Yeah.
Dick Miller, Will Patton, Bronson Pinchot.
Okay.
From Perfect Strangers. Victor Argo. Dick Miller is someone you will recognize. There's actually a documentary about him because he has been in so many films.
Okay.
He was in the aforementioned Explorers. But After Hours, it's Griffin Dunne he works in an office in New York and he meets a girl in a diner and he ends up going out and it is this crazy cocaine fueled.
Yes.
It's a cocaine era for Scorsese.
Okay.
And it's just this weird film that is almost like surrealist art in portions.
Yeah.
And
I feel like those are his best work too, when he's not like trying to blockbuster that shit.
Yeah. I know Goodfellas is good, but I have a lot of friends that think Goodfellas is the greatest film ever made.
Yeah.
And I can't.
It's almost like
it's like Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
I don't think Pulp Fiction is Quentin Tarantino's best film.
No.
And I actually like Jackie Brown most of all.
Oh, Jackie Brown's good.
I would go Jackie Brown, Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction.
I like that. I'll
maybe
agree
even
with that.
Inglourious Bastards up there.
Ooh.
But it's like I was saying, the film nerds. That's what I'd be curious about. I know I'm gonna sound like an arrogant prick when I say this. Whoever runs the film program there, I would love to go and have a tete-a-tete about them. Because I would probably make fun of, cool, that's the hipster answer.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
You ought to think about this.
Yeah.
If we're going classics, have you ever seen... See, I also have my dad.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, you have to watch these films.
See, if you're going to throw stuff at me that I'm like, I'm just starting out, man.
Oh my God. I'm making sure I've got this. Okay. There's a film from 1946. 1946 called The Best Years of Our Lives.
Nope, haven't seen it.
It's like 3 hours long.
Okay.
It's about three guys coming back from the war.
Okay.
In 1946.
Yeah.
About World War II. And one of the guys does not have hands. It won
Wow.
all the Oscars.
Okay. Why have I not heard of this?
And it's
That's
one my
crazy.
dad, and it's weird. It's like there are three 3 guys, and one guy was like a lieutenant or somebody up, and he's like some upper crust rich dude. And then there's a dude who was just like a private but worked his way up because he saved a shit ton of lives. And it turns out he is from like the projects. Oh. Like it is almost something you could remake about like the Afghan war or something now.
Yeah.
And then the other guy is a guy who saved a bunch of people, but both his arms got blown off. And he really didn't have arms. And it was funny. Wow. He won 2 Oscars that year. One, they gave him a special award because they're like, he's never acted before.
Yeah.
And he has no arms.
Yeah.
So we're giving him the special prize. And then he won like Best Supporting Actor.
Did they hand it to him?
It was good talking to you. You can see yourself out.
Sorry.
Yeah. She'll be here all week, folks. Now I don't feel so bad for anything I've said up to this point. But I had my dad like have you ever seen Once Upon a Time in the West? Damn it.
I know. I feel like you just need to give me a list now because
some of like Once
or you
Upon a
should have
Time,
given me a list before.
Once Upon a Time in the West is interesting because I also had my dad giving me context. Like Once Upon a Time in the West is a Sergio Leone film.
Okay.
It's after he did the 3 Man with No Name films with Clint Eastwood.
Okay.
But it starts out the first. I'm trying to remember what is first. There are 2 scenes at the beginning of this film. I think the first scene, and I'm going to spoil a little bit.
Okay.
These bad guys come upon a house where it's a guy and a bunch of kids who are waiting on his bride, who is not the kid's mother passed away, to come in from Italy. And these bad guys roll up and they want to rob them. And one of them is Henry Fonda.
Okay. I feel like I've seen this. Is that like the plot?
Charles Bronson.
Okay.
Who plays harmonica. He plays the harmonica through the whole thing.
I feel it sounds so familiar. I feel like I've seen
this. You see all these bad guys, and then Henry Fonda shows up, and they kill everybody except for one little boy. And you see Henry Fonda show up, and you're like, oh, well, he's going to save he kills the little boy.
Yeah.
And Dad was like, you don't understand how big of a turn that was, using like wrestling terms. Like, he was like, he was the good guy. He has the bright blue eyes, and he just murdered a 6-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Do you know how fucked up that is? Like,
people were probably really outraged.
And then the next scene, I can never remember which order these are in. I think this is right. And then the next scene is just along a platform at a train station, and on one side of the platform is harmonica sitting there playing his harmonica, and there are 3 guys sitting on the other side. Or maybe harmonica is... No, there's 3 guys sitting there waiting on harmonica to show up on the train. I'm probably fucking this up, but I think this is right. And same thing, context. What you don't realize is these are 3 guys that always played the bad guys in historic Westerns. Mm-hmm. You don't know their name, but you know them.
Yeah.
Like Jack Elam, I know was one of them. He's the guy with the lazy eye that if you saw him, you'd recognize. And they're waiting on harmonica to show up. And you're like, oh, God, these guys are going to kill the main guy in the first 10 minutes. And it is this long, laborious scene. And then he shows up and he kills all 3 of them. And Dad was like, do you know how fucked up that was? He just killed the 3 big bads.
Yeah.
That'd be about like, in modern terms, like Captain America killing Thanos in the first 10 minutes of Avengers.
Yeah.
Infinity War. Like which that kind of happened in Endgame now that I think about it. Spoiler alert. But that kind of...
Damn it, I was going to watch that.
Yeah. Finally. It's made $1.8 trillion, but you were the one that hadn't seen it.
It's true.
But like I had Dad explain, but then he would show me trash films. Like Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins. All these films. I don't know. I just got very lucky when I was a kid. Having these 2, and then Mom showing me shit like Dogfight. Like all these weird...
Yeah.
Independent films. Yeah. Okay.
Dang. I love it.
Okay, so you're making up. You got the film minor.
Watching all the movies. But
you're also watching like TV, like, because it feels like at that point syndication is starting to become bigger. Mm-hmm. Like I watched Seinfeld as it came out, but I watched it even more when it was in syndication. So are you also kind of catching up on TV with...
No,
you're mainly sticking with film. Okay. So you did the film minor in college. You got to watch a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Did you get? Did they ever bring in any filmmakers or anything? Did you get to see?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, it was just the professors, and they're like different,
Okay.
which they should have.
Did they
I feel
have?
like they
well,
should
but
have
it's
had
also
people come in.
back in that era. It may have been harder, whereas now it may be easier.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like there's a lot more of interest in the film community here in Knoxville anyways, in general. And so I don't know if because there was a screenwriting course, for the film minor. So I'm thinking that with Keith McDaniel's
the film
festival and everything, like that wasn't happening when I was in school. So I'm thinking that they have to at least expand it a little bit, like at least create a major now.
Okay.
But I don't know. I haven't looked into it. So it's probably a lot fuller of a program now.
And before I forget, what was your major?
Creative writing.
Okay.
With a film minor.
Okay. Were you writing scripts or anything when you were in college?
Yeah. So I did an independent study with Dr. Larson, who is the film professor. And we, after you graduate, it's not, you move on and you get a real job and all that stuff. So it didn't really go anywhere. But I enjoyed, writing short stories and stuff like that. And yeah.
And it was also at that time, now everyone's carrying around a production office in their pocket.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas back then it was a lot harder. I know I talked to Andy Filiu from Lock and Key.
Okay.
That he was in the film department up there, and he was talking about renting equipment and stuff and how much of a pain in the ass it was. And he was like, and now everybody's walking around. He goes up there and looks at the equipment they have. He's like, I would have killed for any of this.
Well, the new iPhone commercial is you can create cinematic masterpieces on your phone.
Of course you can.
If
your name's Steven Soderbergh, you can.
Sponsored.
Sponsored. Yeah, I'm still rocking the iPhone 6S Plus. Please give me a new iPhone. That's only because I use it too much. And every time I'm like, okay, I need to clear it off and take it and get a new one. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, I can't. I've got to do these 3 things, and I can't do it for the next day, or I need time to where I can devote. Mm-hmm. It's driving me nuts. There also, Sprint is telling me, is like, January 1st, we will no longer support your phone. I was like, that is fair. That is very fair. This phone is old as shit. That is fine.
Someone said that about my BlackBerry one time, and I thought I was going to cry.
You still have a Black? No.
No.
You got an iPhone. Okay. I was going to say.
I know, but the BlackBerry was amazing.
Minor in film. You're catching up on film.
Yeah.
Now, all the stuff they're showing you is like elite, culturally significant film, right? Or are they also showing you, like, you're not seeing Home Alone in there?
No.
Although I would say, again, going back to it is a Warner Brothers card, I think there is context.
Yeah.
For that.
There was an independent film class that showed, I guess like it wasn't like just classics, or also culturally significant, of course.
Well, you got to think like in the 90s, you had Linklater, Kevin Smith, Robert Rodriguez, all doing these like ultra low budget Slacker, Clerks, and I'm trying to remember what was the film called before the main one. Not the one with Antonio Banderas, but the El Mariachi, I think is what it was called. Where that's still one of my favorite stories I've heard, where he was like, Robert Rodriguez said, I've got a guitar, a guitar case, a cat, and access to this car. So how can I use those 3 things and make a film? Yeah. And that's how he did.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I'm this will be no surprise to anyone, an insane Kevin Smith fan.
Okay.
Where if I ever meet him, I am going to cry and hug him. But I've heard him speak so much. He speaks so highly about Linklater and Rodriguez. That's how I know those stories. Yeah. Because of him. So I would assume that with what they were doing, some of that stuff in the 90s would probably be, or even Soderbergh with like Sex, Lies, and Videotape. And
yeah, there was one that I don't remember because I'm really bad at. I don't know. I'm probably never going to be able to pull it up, but
start mentioning it.
Oh my gosh, she was like the independent darling. She was tall, brunette. What's her name? It was a movie about her being a librarian.
Her being a librarian.
Yeah, I could.
It's not Secretary Maggie Gyllenhaal.
You know, no, she's not a librarian.
No, well, she. Oh yeah, that's right. She was an assistant. She was a secretary.
Yeah,
sweet Jesus, it's in the name. Librarian. Tall, independent. Linda Fiorentino.
No, she had a really like. I'm gonna say hip. She had a hip first name, like Poppy or something like that, but it wasn't Poppy. I don't know.
The only Poppy I know is Poppy Montgomery, and she was trying to be an it girl. Is it Parker Posey?
That's it. Yeah,
it is Parker.
Party Girl.
Party Girl.
The name
of
the movie. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the guy's name who directed that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like movies like that, like 95. Yeah. Indie film.
Whit Stillman would probably be in there. Oh, it's Daisy Von Scherler Mayer. Okay. Parker Posey was in a lot of those.
Yes.
Films.
That's why I was like, it's Poppy. I was close.
Yeah. Yeah, Whit Stillman did Metropolitan and Last Days of Disco. That's what made me think. And I can't remember the guy's name. There's all these. 90s was a weird time, and that. But it's funny in that, like, a lot of what was considered independent films back then. Have you ever seen Big Night with Tony Shalhoub? Why am I blanking on his name? Shit. The guy who blew up during the pandemic. Actor who's been around forever, and you'll know, once I say his name, you're going to laugh at me.
Oh, the one from Nashville?
No, he blew up during the pandemic because... Stanley Tucci, because he was making...
Oh, yeah.
And everybody was drooling over him.
Yep.
Him and Campbell Scott directed this film called Big Night about a restaurant's opening night.
Okay.
It's very good. But there was a show on IFC called Dinner for Five with Jon Favreau, where he would have 4 people, and it was usually independent film people. And I think it was Shalhoub was on there talking about making Big Night as an independent film, and he's like, yeah, it only costs like $20 million. And Kevin Smith's like, mine cost $27,000.
Yeah, you can't.
But they would talk about the wide range of independent at that point.
That's true, yeah.
And
well, I guess, and technically it's independent if you're shooting outside of Hollywood, right. And you're not
Which
getting
technically
studios.
The first Star Wars is an independent film. He shot that with his own money. Hell, Wolf of Wall Street is an independent film, if you're going in technicalities. Okay. So you are seeing films from the 90s or 80s that have cultural
80s,
significance.
90s, yeah. Divine was a big one, too.
Oh, yeah, John Waters.
Yeah, John Waters, that's him.
Yeah. Yeah, you talk about independent film. Good, sweet Jesus.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was great. And it was just, like, it's just stuff that I was never, ever exposed to. That was just, like, it blew my mind. I was like, oh, my God, people made movies like this. Like,
I feel like that's everybody in college. It's music and movies.
Yeah.
That you're like,
where was I?
Yeah, where was I? Because I also feel like at that time, like Citizen Kane, in the pre-DVD era, it's like, who the fuck ever saw Citizen Kane?
Yeah.
And you would have to seek out a VHS copy because you weren't seeing it on regular TV.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Okay, film minor, creative writing major.
Yeah.
So you graduate, and did you kind of go astray? You're like, or did you kind of stick with, I still want to keep up with movies? And
I kept up with, like, the, once you have it, like, once you have that movie itch, I feel like every, I don't know, it was a long time ago. I feel
I'm still getting owned for saying not.
No, but no, seriously, like, it, like, I don't know. And then I met Jimmy, and he, like, we kind of, when we met, we talked about movies. Yeah. And that was kind of like our thing. Like, I, surprise, had never seen The Godfather when I met Jimmy. And so, like, one of our first date nights in was he made me a Sunday gravy And then we watched The Godfather, which looking back on it now is kind of a terrible first date.
Oh, yeah.
But like, well, I'm like, yeah, I'll watch The Godfather. Sure.
Oh my God.
So yeah. And I was like, okay, like this movie is how long I need to go home.
Did you enjoy it?
It was good. But
Okay.
you know, like I'm sitting next to this guy that and you know, like,
yeah, on a first date.
yeah, it was a weird, I mean, that's the only word I can describe it.
Okay.
Weird experience.
It'd be funny. It's like, no, you can't go home. We got to watch Godfather 2. They work together.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Like,
so 8 hours later, you're
right?
like,
yeah.
Shit.
I'm surprised, like knowing him now, I'm surprised that he didn't start with Godfather 2 first.
Really?
So,
Okay.
you know, it was like, okay, Godfather 2, you have to, because it's the Flash, you know, the pre-whatever.
Yeah.
Prequel. But yeah. So that's kind of how, like, going from college, it kind of, you know, I don't want to say like it bottomed out like the my movies or because I kept in touch a little bit, but then like meeting Jimmy was mostly like, oh shit. Now he introduced me to Scorsese and you know,
Dude flicks.
Yeah.
Kubrick.
Exactly.
Kubrick is
yeah.
not to be stereotypical, and I'm not saying women can't like those, but Tarantino,
yeah,
Scorsese, Kubrick, very dude heavy flicks. Very dude heavy flicks.
But and I'm grateful though because now I'm like,
even old westerns are very dude heavy flicks.
I love westerns.
Yeah.
But you know, it's stuff like I would never. I mean, I wouldn't say that I wouldn't watch on my own because eventually I would, but it's one of those like, okay, you know, my thing is if everyone's saying that they like something, I'm not gonna watch it, right? So like the Marvel movies, I've seen. You're gonna laugh at me, but it's Guardians of the Galaxy. Is that Marvel? See, exactly. Yeah, I saw that one.
Okay,
but I don't know.
I grew up on comic books too, so
See, I don't know.
I have had many experiences with seeing comic book films in theater. Like when the first Spider-Man came out in like 2002, I was in a theater and the audio didn't work during the trailers.
Oh.
And the movie started and the audio still didn't walk out. And I thought people were going to tell them the audio wasn't working. I went out and I walked up to the counter and was like, hey, audio's not working in there. And they were like, okay. And I said, maybe I didn't make myself clear. I've been waiting on this fucking film my entire fucking life. Fix the fucking audio. And those kids, I was probably like 20 and those kids were probably 16. Oh, okay. And one of them took off running. I was like, I've been waiting on this film for 20 years.
Yeah.
Like,
I get it.
Fix
there
the
are
fucking...
a lot of comic book people who follow this through and through.
I'm an oddball on the Marvel films in that I think there are ones that are great and I think there are ones that suck. And I think there are ones that suck that people give a lot of credit to. And I think there are ones that everybody shits on that are actually okay.
The Hulk with Eric Bana.
That's just... that is actually just Hulk.
Hulk?
The Incredible Hulk has Edward Norton in it.
Oh my God.
If I'm going to go full nerd.
Oh my God.
So what's funny is I recently, a lot of times we'll rewatch films in the background while I'm doing other shit.
Yeah.
I rewatched the 2 Andrew Garfield Spider-Man films, The Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay.
After...
You're going to have to tell me who the Spider-Man was because I only saw one.
Andrew Garfield. So after the social...
You just did that. Sorry.
After The Social Network came out...
Okay.
And then 500 Days of Summer, it's the director of 500 Days of Summer.
Okay.
And Andrew Garfield was Eduardo in Social Network with Emma Stone.
Okay.
So when those 2 films came out, I recently rewatched them.
Okay.
And looking at them after seeing all the Marvel films and TV shows, I was like, fuck. I was telling my cousin, I was like, they tried to make this a film, whereas they didn't care as much. And that's how it used to be with the comic book films. They're like, no, we're making a film. We'll throw in one thing that was from the comics as like, lucky we see that. Whereas the Marvel, the MCU films are like, no, we're taking everything from the comics.
Yeah.
Because it has had 70, 80, 100 years of writing. Why the hell wouldn't we mine from that? Yeah. So I will say, if there were any, I would say, please watch these. Although you can't really. The 2. I'll go down to 2. Captain America First Avenger and The Winter Soldier are phenomenal.
Okay.
Captain America when the Marvel films, when I saw Iron Man and I heard Captain America announce, I was like, I hope they do almost the entire film of him fighting in World War II. If they were doing it right, that's what I would do. And that's what they did.
Huh.
And it's shot by the guy who did The Rocketeer, Joe Johnson. I was like, holy shit, they're doing this right. And then the second film is like a 70s espionage film.
Okay.
Winter Soldier. Like 3 Days of the Condor with Robert Redford. Like that's what it, and it really is like that. And I was like, holy shit, they actually did this right.
Yeah.
Like they actually did a good film and mined from the comic books.
Yeah.
Civil War, the third Captain America film, if you don't watch all of them, you're not going to get it. Because it's got too many it's got too much from other films.
Yeah. That's what I feel like in all of these movies at this point. It's like,
it's
you
one of those,
have to watch all of them to get it.
If you ever watched all of them, I would tell you shit like, but you kind of got to pay attention. Because there was something I missed at the end of Avengers Age of Ultron that affected how I viewed Captain America Civil War. Like I forgot about a scene at the end of Age of Ultron. And when I watched Civil War, it's like, well, that's stupid. That never happened. And then I rewatched Age of Ultron. I was like, holy shit, it happened in the last 5 seconds of the damn movie.
Yeah.
That changed my view on a film.
See, that sounds exhausting.
Yeah. It's weird because like Iron Man 2 and 3 are not good.
Okay.
Everybody shits on Thor, The Dark World, the second one. They're like, that's the worst one. It's not the worst one. It's actually pretty good. It's just the standard so high. The new one that just came out, The Eternals, is very good. And you almost don't have to watch any of them to get it.
Is that the one with Angelina Jolie in it? Okay.
Like it does not tie to any of the others.
Okay.
Like the only tie is like, why didn't you step in when Thanos killed half of the world? But that's even explained. Oh. But it's the director of Nomadland, which I still have not seen. And it's beautifully shot.
I feel like I've seen that.
It's beautifully shot. Like, and it's got great actors. And it's getting shit on right now because it is woke. Because it has a gay couple in it.
Oh.
Because it has different races in it. How dare they?
What?
Yeah. It is actually very, I will say, if you were going to watch any of them, my suggestion would be, it's not fun. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes. It's got a little bit of humor. Angelina Jolie has 2 funny quips back to back. And I almost tapped my cousin and went, look at her being funny. That's great. I was like, she's the last one I would expect it to be funny in this film.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's very good. I liked it more than Dune. Dune I actually did not like.
See, this is another movie that everyone's like, you have to see this. I'm like,
If you're going to watch any of his, Arrival is great.
Okay.
With Amy Adams. Villeneuve. And is the director. And Sicario. Sicario is fucking ridiculous.
Okay.
You will feel tense and scared that entire film.
All right.
It's about the Mexican-American drug war.
Oh, shit.
And Benicio del Toro, your buddy Benicio del Toro, which I want to cuss you for that.
Ah, ha, ha. Yes. Me and Benicio are like so tight right now.
Fuck you. Sorry. But fuck you. Thank God you didn't see that film before you met him.
Yeah.
He's fucking terrifying in Sicario. It is so good. But it's also, have to watch that. It's very rough. Like, it is very rough. And what Emily Blunt goes through that film, you'd be like, I kind of want to just hug her. Is she going to be okay? Now, the films I would say you would have to watch, like Sicario would be one.
Mm-hmm.
What is that damn film? Because they changed the name of it. Did you see the Emily Blunt, Tom Cruise film, Edge of Tomorrow, where he keeps dying and respawning, and it's like aliens have attacked the Earth?
I feel like I've seen like parts of it.
It's very good.
Okay.
It is very good. I'm not saying you have to watch it. It's just like it's... And
I'm going to need a PDF after this.
What's funny is it's the guy who made Rounders. Speaking of 90s, Doug Lyman.
I've seen that.
It's him, and it's like, what the fuck? He's come a long way. He also did, I think he did Mr. and Miss Smith with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, which is a lot more fun than everybody gave it credit for.
I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
And I think Vince Vaughn played his buddy who was just kind of in a bathrobe the whole time.
Yeah, just watching.
Yeah. Okay, so kind of kept up with it, met Jimmy.
Yeah.
And he was kind of into film, so he started showing you. I don't want to say the dude films, but
the dude films. Well, they're the dude films. Apocalypse Now.
Oh, that is a perfect film.
Is it?
I rewatched it recently, and when I got to the end of it, I was like, "That is a perfect film that they could never make again." Because everything that went wrong with that film, and how even the stuff that went wrong made that film even better. Like if you start deep diving on it, like Marlon Brando. In his contract, he was only supposed to be there for 6 days. He showed up 250 pounds overweight, and they didn't know what to do because he was supposed to be like this yoked Marine.
Yeah.
And they're like, we'll cloak him in all black and put him in the I was like, that's better.
Oh,
that's better. And then...
Dude, who does... I mean, now Marlon Brando, of course, does that, but like...
Yeah. And
Could you imagine?
It was like he was only supposed to be there for 6 days. And he showed up on the first day, and he was like, hey, can we discuss the script? And he spent the whole day discussing the script with Coppola. And then he came to do that. He was trying to do that all 6 days so he could get out of doing the film.
Oh, my God.
And Coppola figured it out on like day 2. And he's like, we're done. We're shooting. Just do it.
Yeah.
And like he made up the speech of like your ants crawling on a razor. Like all this.
Yeah.
I was like, they could never make this film.
No.
Martin Sheen had a heart attack in the middle of the movie. Like,
I didn't know any of this extra. I'm gonna have to look this up now because
there's a documentary called Hearts of Darkness because it's based off Joseph Conrad's Hearts of Darkness.
Yeah, a Pole, by the way.
Huh?
A Pole. He's Polish.
Is he? Joseph Conrad is? There you go.
Yes.
I'm gonna need a PDF list of the famous Polish people.
You got it.
Although scratch through that first name you gave me. I don't want to know that name.
It's redacted.
Okay, so he gave you the dude films. Have you kept up with some of those directors? Like, have you kept up through him? Like, do you all see the Tarantino, the Scorsese,
No, I mean now. So the donut shop kind of put a lot of things on hold.
Yeah.
So we used to go to Downtown West all the time. I watch, independent films. Yeah, I mean, we used to.
Okay.
Here, we used to go to movies a lot. Oh my God.
When you got out of college, did you keep up with the writing, or did you?
Yeah, here and there a little bit. Jimmy actually wrote a screenplay, so like both of us were like kind of trying to keep each other going in the same industry, great. Because he has connections, or had connections, at the donut shop, in LA, and he went out there a couple times.
Oh shit! I didn't know this.
So that's kind of, we kept each other going in the industry, I guess. Okay. And he wrote a screenplay. I kind of helped him with the first couple pages, so nice. I have a screenwriting credit.
Nice.
But no, not really. But yeah, so I don't know. What was your question? Did I keep it up? Yeah.
Keeping it up, and just so up until starting the donut shop, y'all were still kind of like, we're going to movies all the time. We're still
writing. I mean, it was one of the things that has kept us together, like a bond, right? That we share. And even though like I knew he wanted to be in it a lot more than I did,
Did he want to be a director too, or just a screenwriter?
He wanted to be an actor.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, so an actor, a screenwriter. He wanted to do like the whole thing. Like he wanted to be in the industry. He was trying to produce a couple things here and there. He was, the guy who went and looked for funding for some movies. Yeah. Like his friend was sending him screenplays from LA to, like, I think I remember seeing a script from Bernie when that movie came out.
Oh shit!
Jack Black.
Yeah. Speaking of Richard Linklater.
Yeah. So like I remember reading that script like 3 years before I actually saw it on. I was like, oh my God.
That's awesome.
Like it was just really cool. Like a cool experience. So yeah. So even like took acting classes together just to like kind of keep.
So you did have thoughts of acting. Was it more of because he wanted to do it, he drove you to do it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because Jimmy's the type of person who will like want, I'm not saying that he doesn't have like the drive to do stuff, but like it's easier when someone's there to be like, okay, let's do this. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Somebody making sure you don't lose steam.
Yes. Yeah.
Making
so like
sure you don't get diverted. Yeah.
You were saying earlier that your friends are like complaining, but they don't do anything. Like,
right.
I feel like, like if you have someone there to be like, okay, well, let's fix it. Let's fix this problem. So that was like kind of, I knew that he wanted to do it. We all get stuck in our routines of life. And I was like, all right, we're going to do acting classes. We're going to do, so it's just one of those things. And then, and we even signed with an agency.
Oh, shit.
And like did, because Knoxville's murder porn capital of the world, we have done some reenactments.
There is part of me that because I'm so big, I'm like, I wonder if I can't remember lines though. I couldn't remember lines to save my life. But I was like, I see a lot of guys that are bigger dudes that get a lot of roles because they're bigger dudes.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are not as big as me. And I'm like,
you can do it.
Yeah.
Especially for extra stuff, like they always ask for
certain things.
So unique individual, like not average.
Yeah, I am definitely not average.
So, yeah.
Okay, but you all were keeping each other kind of on track, honest, and then the donut shop.
And then we opened up the donut shop.
Wait. Here, I'm going to say this to. And then you opened the donut shop. And then you opened another donut shop.
Mm-hmm.
And then you opened a third donut shop.
Yeah.
Spoiler for the people at home.
Spoiler.
Like, oh my God.
Don't do it if you have sets on something.
Shut up.
Set your eyes
They're
on
good donuts. Shut up. Don't.
They are good donuts.
Yeah, damn it. Don't deprive me of my donut.
Sorry.
I like not having to pay $5 a donut for donuts.
Yeah. I just show up to your house and be like, here you go.
Oh, no, no, never mind. Slight dig on somebody. Never mind. Kirk cut all that out.
Shaden.
Yeah.
Yeah. During, prior to the donut shop, Jimmy had written a screenplay. It's one, but there are always, I don't want to say we were working, we were working jobs that didn't really have any
9-to-5ers.
Right. Yeah.
There's a buddy of mine now. We figured that out years ago when it come to design. He was like, you have lifers and you have 9-to-5ers.
Yeah.
You have people that are like, I just want to come in there, do my job and leave.
Yes.
And then you have lifers like he and I were that was like, oh no, you're still doing shit at 10:30 at night because you enjoy doing it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we lifers were in 9-to-5.
Yeah.
9-to-5ers. And again, you get stuck in that routine and,
Yeah.
So with the donut shop, we were like, we can have the freedom to pursue, what we really want to do and not be beholden to somebody else telling us. That was the plan.
Cut to 4 years later.
Yeah.
That's going to say it's been
4 years later. So Jimmy's still making the donuts.
Oh my God.
Yeah. He's that guy.
And you're still greeting people when they come in the door.
I'm that person. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's hilarious.
But I was lucky enough, I guess, to where my staff is amazing and we have it to where, it's running itself to where I don't have to be there constantly.
Yeah.
Which gave me the opportunity to reach back out to the agency and be like, hey, remember me?
Yeah. Remember me?
Yeah.
So you all open the donut shops, shops.
Yeah.
And you open the donut shops, but make it through the pandemic, which is good.
Yes. Very grateful.
And then get to the point you're like, you know what? So what was it that in you that were like, you know what? I want to try this again. What? Just that you had a staff that was like kicking ass.
Yeah. So what happened? Jimmy started doing the donuts every night.
Okay.
Someone had quit. So Jimmy was only doing it like 2 nights a week. He was doing graveyard shift like 2 nights a week. Someone had quit. And then I was basically like the graveyard shift is, he would come home like at, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning and go to bed at 1 and 2. And so I was basically like, like, what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
Right. Like besides running front of house and stuff like that. Like, and so I kind of felt, a little isolated from, obviously there was a pandemic too.
Yeah.
No one was hanging out or anything, but like I needed a hobby besides
working.
You
won't work to be your entire life.
Yes.
Yeah, I got you.
And all our conversations started to be about it was just like I needed something.
That sounds like a dream to me. I don't know what your problem is.
Oh, I know, right?
I'm
like
just kidding. Anytime y'all want to talk donuts, I am happy to tag in.
Oh yeah.
And talk donuts.
You're in all the time. Don't tag me out. Or don't tag me back in. No, but that was it. I wanted to have something to go out and meet people.
Okay.
And just be around people who had the same passion, I guess, of wanting to.
But also I feel like the same thing is like the foreign film night. You also don't want to exclude Jimmy from seeing his friends too.
Exactly.
Be like, hey, we're going to do this, and you're lame, and
Yeah.
that would suck.
No, exactly.
So good for you for also not just
yeah.
doing that.
It's tough. We're going to be married for 10 years now in April, and we run a shop together, and so it's like you get into this like rut of like, okay, you need to go see your friends. I need to go see my, you know what I mean? Like, so we could actually have other conversations besides the donut shop, and that's it. That's all we were talking about.
And talking about being tired.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Yeah. So like, I was like, I just need to do something else. Mm-hmm. I signed back in with the agency in December of last year, and started like just also before like 4 years ago, there weren't as many Facebook groups for.
Oh.
Yeah, the industry's changed a little bit, but it was
I think I have been in, I think, one commercial. I have no desire. I actually hate the sound of my voice and don't like that I do this podcast.
Okay.
But also know that a lot of people will, this is going to sound very arrogant. A lot of the people I know that I want to interview are people that probably wouldn't normally get interviewed because they're not trendy or something. You know what I mean? They're not.
I'm definitely not trendy.
Oh. But I mean, like they don't have 40,000 followers on Instagram, and they're not. That's what's funny is I look at the analytics, and the ones where I have friends on, or I hate to say regular people, but regular people always scores a lot higher than the blue checks, the people that are verified.
Yeah,
which cracks me up. I'm like, but I say I've been in a commercial. And I was in a film, and I've been asked to be in a lot of other stuff, but it's always, I get a text from the director the night before, who's a friend of mine, says, hey, can you come be here all day? And it pays $20. And we need you to get there at 5 a.m. And you'll probably be there till 11 p.m. And it pays $20. I'm like, no.
But you get a credit.
That's tomorrow. That's tomorrow.
Yeah.
I have an IMDb page, which cracks me up.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's passion projects, but.
Yeah. Well, one of them was, we want you to go to Lenore City and it's winter time and you're going to play a homeless guy who sits on the ground the entire time. I was like, no.
Man, what?
It was for a music video.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. It's like when I said the thing about giving it a go because I'm a big dude.
Yeah.
And I think I could.
I think you could.
But I also, He'd say, don't want to give up an entire day for $20. Like, I don't have the passion.
Yeah.
There we go. That's the better way to put it. Or if I had nothing to do, and I could say, hey, y'all are going to feed me, right? Because I need food.
Yeah.
I'm a big dude. I need food.
Yeah.
I may do it, but I don't know. So, I said all that to say, so you signed back with your agents, and you start doing stuff around town, the murder porn stuff?
Yeah, murder porn. Yep. But then also, so this is kind of funny because the murder porn, I met a person, Tommy Campbell, who is a very awesome person. He was my detective.
Okay.
My detective partner in this murder porn thing. And he doesn't have an agency. He does all this by himself. Like, he finds stuff by himself. And so he kind of opened up my eyes to all these Facebook groups that people post on to ask. And I was like, oh my God, like, you could actually be in a movie. Like, what? Like, just walk on a movie as an extra. So, of course, I signed up for all of that stuff. And little by little, you know, I'm like doing this and I'm doing that and like driving to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Which is where most everything is being shot right now. But I'm like, sign me up.
Okay, so it started with that. And what is extra work like? Like, I kind of know what that is, hearing, you know, film nerds and shit talk about it.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because I think anytime I've heard it, it's almost like we just need somebody to fill out a scene.
Uh-huh.
Like, we have a scene in a courtroom or something, and we need 40 people there.
Yeah. That's it.
But it is legit actors because they can't rely on like their friends and stuff just to show up and hang out.
Yeah.
Is that true? Yeah.
I mean, I like if they're really bottom feeding, then they'll be like, okay, anybody show up.
Yeah.
But because they still ask for a headshot, they still ask for resume. You know, like and it's mostly director's pick, so they look at the people and they're like, okay, this, and you know, kind of like, I mean, I'm sure back in the day it was because people were standing in line and you know, like in that show, whatever that show is called, but I don't know. I don't know titles anymore.
Oh. What?
The show that not American Horror Story, but the same person who did American Story did the other show.
Oh, Ryan Murphy.
Yeah, there was a Hollywood Once Upon a Time.
That's I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the one that I think it was Jessica and Susan Sarandon, where they played the two historic people. Yeah, he's done a bunch of those.
Yeah. So, so.
But in those, you just went down the line like, you look pretty.
Yeah.
Come in, be in the background.
So I feel like this is kind of better for me in general, is like starting out anyways, because like I don't get if I don't get an email, I'm like, okay, I didn't get picked, right? Yeah. But I don't like get stared in the face and be like, you don't make it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, extra work. I love it just because I get to meet people.
Right.
And that's the only thing that, like, yes, I'll drive to Atlanta 5 times in a week because you need my COVID test Monday, Tuesday, and then you have to do a fitting on Wednesday. And it's like, I mean, it's a little excessive that.
Yeah.
But then like when you're there and you see people that you know already because you're in the same group, and you just meet new friends, like it's fun. All you do is okay. So for the show P Valley, it was an overnight shoot. And you also get to see like the most fantastic locations too. This house was like a freaking mansion. It had like a theater room. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm digressing, but overnight shoot, and we had to fill in this winterscape ball that was happening.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So they had like real SAG actors dancing, doing this whole dance thing. And then we were going to like, you know, kind of shimmy in the background and fill it in. Right. But, because I love to fool around, I was like, you know, break dancing with my,
oh my God.
like with, you know, so it's like one of those things. And like the best part about it is like when this show comes out, I'm like, oh my God,
Look at me.
Look at me. That
Acting
happened.
a fool. Doing the Carlton in the background.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's stuff like that. And I don't know. That was a long one.
So for like an overnight shoot, you're an extra. Do they pay for an hotel room or anything, or you're just
No. They don't. No.
Is it really like $20 a day, or is that more
no,
like the murder
the
porn?
standard is like, I think the standard is $88 for 10 hours.
Okay.
Well, $88 for 8. There's different rates. 88 for 8. There's 125 for 10. But 88 is the lowest I think that I've seen.
Okay.
Yeah. But then they also pay for your COVID test, which now during COVID you have to do like twice.
Yeah.
So
do you drive all the way down there, get the COVID test, drive back home?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But see, like when I was doing it before, like right now I'm taking a break from it because I did it quite a bit in October.
Yeah.
But like when I was doing it in February and March, like I enjoyed that because I was like by myself in the car. I got to play music and like.
I was going to say maybe I do need to get back into it so you won't have to drive that all on your own.
Yeah,
you can have a buddy.
I mean, yes, seriously. But yeah, I mean, like, it was just
so
like
overnight shoot. You were in that location, and then what? Like when it wrapped at 6 a.m., you just had to turn around, and drive home.
Yeah.
Wow.
But you're like we knew that was an overnight shoot, so everyone packed like energy drinks, and I mean, we were all jacked up on like 6 a.m. The sun was coming out. I'm like, all right, let's go home.
Where are we going to dance?
Yeah, exactly. It was just funny. I don't know. I just love the different like. It's like the last one I did, also a dancing one. But this one was really fun because we were square dancing. Like we had rehearsals the beginning of October and then had rehearsals the week prior to filming. And it was like camp. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So get to meet all these people, be friends with them. And then like, it was kind of sad when it was over on like the second day of filming because everyone's like, okay, we'll never see each other again. So... But we will because we're like
groups and if y'all are all going for it, then
yeah. And I try really hard to stay in touch with people because that's
also probably how you get more gigs too.
Yes.
Yeah. So wardrobe fitting, so they actually dress you.
They do.
Wow.
Yeah. So I had like 3 different looks for the square dancing thing.
Okay.
Because it was 2 days. Each day was like a different, a different day. But I'm like putting on this costume. It was really cool. All the girls had like huge, dresses. There's a name for the frill underneath or whatever. But the one they picked for me was like a tight leather shredded skirt.
Oh, geez.
I was like, what is this?
You are going to be able to find yourself like poofy, 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 boom.
Yep. So that was kind of funny.
Oh, my God.
It's like, wow, I stick out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah. So
yeah, you get to dress. I'd say play dress up, but you get to play dress up.
Yeah. But you get paid for it. So like this particular project paid more than what I was spending to get down to Atlanta. And because I've met these people before and multiple, like some of them were really nice. They're like, hey, you can spend the night here. And like, so I didn't have to like drive back and forth so much or get a hotel. So that was really nice. And hopefully one day I'll be able to do them a favor in return.
Nice.
But yeah.
Do you have an IMDb Pro? Have you been logging all of these?
No. Not all. Well, the ones that...
I'm going to earn more donuts because I'm going to be like...
I mean, okay, so I did have one. It's not active, right? But I think you can still find it on there.
Yeah.
But the stuff, like the extra work, you don't really necessarily put on there because like...
I'm going to make fun of somebody.
They tell you not to.
Oh, okay. There is a woman, I think her name is Catherine Narducci.
Okay.
That she is in The Irishman. Scorsese's Irishman. When that first came out, it was so locked down that on IMDb, the only photos on there were candid photos with her in costume with Joe Pesci. And it was like 20 photos, and it was all her. And it made, when I looked at the page, I was like trying to read up about it, and I was like, who the fuck is this woman? And I think she may have 2 lines in the entire film or something. Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, that's somebody with IMDb Pro is going in there and doing it. It's like,
I mean, I feel like you could, like,
but she's not an extra. She is somebody. She plays somebody's wife.
Yeah.
But she is not
the
anything.
top build.
Yeah. She may be from posting so much.
Oh,
in there,
yeah.
But yeah. So that's why I ask about the the extra.
I have a couple things on there that like were legitimate, like credited.
Were you able to get your name?
My square dancing name?
No. Karen Wooten. Was it?
It's Joanna Wooten.
Really?
Yeah. It's my stage name.
Okay. I've heard so many stories about like Nicolas Cage's name is not really Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
His last name, I think he's a Coppola. I think he's their.
Oh
his
yeah,
cousin.
yeah, that's right.
But he got Cage from Luke Cage from the comic books.
So Joanna is my middle name.
Mm-hmm.
It's an actual name that I didn't like just
come
up with.
Make out.
Yeah. The reason that I changed it was because I wanted to differentiate my donut life.
Yeah.
And this life.
SEO.
Yeah, exactly. And also Jimmy's mother's name is Karen.
Oh shit. Okay.
So like when you find us,
she was in Gone with the Wind.
Yeah. So like when you find
Ooh, I should have picked a more modern film. I'm sorry, Mrs. Wooten. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. She was in Taxi Driver.
There you go.
Cut all that out, Kurt.
Yes.
Just leave in the Taxi Driver part.
But yeah, so like when you find us on Facebook, like it was people were friending me when they would have when they could have friended. You know what I mean? Like it was getting confusing. Yeah. So that's the name that I.
Okay.
It sounds weird, like it sounds pretentious and stupid, but it's like that's the name that I like introduce myself to people so they can find me easily.
Yeah.
And not like also the whole Karen thing, like come on.
Yeah.
So there's like a lot of.
So you said you did a lot in October, so you're kind of in downtime right now. Is there so much need for extras or so many people out there trying that it's easy to take that time off without getting dinged for not being available? Does that make sense? Can you tell your agent, be like, I need to pause for a second, and it's okay, or does that hurt you?
So like all this extra work is I find on my own.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the only things that I got through the agency was like the Snapped and the killer like murder porn stuff.
The local stuff.
Yeah. And there's also another agency that's doing the same thing. So there's like a lot of, I'm like, yeah, I'm available, but I never really hear anything.
Yeah.
But most of the stuff I do is I find and like network with people, and they're like, oh, hey, you need, I need this and I need that. Yeah. So yeah. So right now my downtime is working at the donut shop.
That's hilarious. Yeah, my downtime is working the job that pays.
Yeah.
Like Benicio's it's a BFD, man. That's a big fucking deal. Like,
dude, he was so nice. Oh my God.
He's one of those I would love to meet.
Nice.
Like, yeah.
Like so the thing that was super
weird. That was
weird,
square dancing, wasn't it?
It was.
Because you all were in costume.
Yeah. The thing that was the weirdest thing about this is that like I just applied through this Facebook group to do square dancing.
Yeah.
And like,
did you have to kind of know how to dance?
It said like dancing experience preferred, and I grew up doing tap and and stuff like that. So, I feel like I have rhythm,
I can do sports moves till the cows come home, but I can't dance for shit. I don't know how to dance, so I'm too white.
You could dance.
Yeah.
But it was it was a call for square dancers, and so I applied for that. But like during the square dancing filming, like there were also other background people that were just standing there, kind of like the thing in P Valley where we were just kind of like, shimmying around. And so it was just weird to see how different these posts, I guess, were. Yeah. One of the guys that was just one of like an extra came up to be like, man, I really enjoyed watching you guys dance. And it was kind of weird because I felt like, I was like, dude, we're getting paid the same. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you could have applied for this too. Yeah. Like, and,
Maybe he doesn't have rhythm. Like
maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
But Benicio was like, you guys worked really hard. And like, he was so like
That's awesome.
appreciative.
I'm happy to hear he is a good guy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like during breaks, I sat down at a table with like somebody's stuff on the table, and it was Alicia Silverstone's stuff. And she like came up and like took her bag out and was like doing stuff on her. It was like
I can
sitting
probably figure
right
out what
next
this
to her.
movie is. Benicio del Toro, Alicia Silverstone.
Yep. Justin Timberlake.
I'm out. I don't like Justin Timberlake.
I don't know what his role is in this.
I'm sure
film,
he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
But he just does nothing for me. I don't get the appeal.
I
know I'm not a woman or a gay man, but I just look at him and go,
yeah,
meh. What you want?
yeah. But I think he might have like a minor. You know what I mean? I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. He might be minor, but the movie's called Reptile.
Oh shit! Okay, so it does have a name, and
Yeah,
okay.
that particular one. But yeah, so Reptile, and I think it's coming. It's a Netflix film.
Okay.
Sponsored.
Hey now, you're sponsored by Netflix. I'm sponsored.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. And it's about a real estate agent, who kills somebody, or so there's a murder, and Benicio, of course, plays a police guy, a cop or a detective.
I'm looking it up to see if it is actually listed. So I'm curious. Do you know who the director was, or
Grant Singer? I think that's his last name. He actually wrote it. He wrote and directed it.
Reptile 2022. Alicia Silverstone, Francis Fisher, Benicio del Toro,
Dominique
Michael Pitt,
Barzardardo.
Justin Timberlake, Eric Bogosian, Dominique Lombard from The Wire.
Mm-hmm. So it was
Sky
so
Ferreira.
crazy to see all those people dancing, square dancing. Like when we had rehearsals in a hotel.
Yeah. I'm just scrolling down to see if I see your name pop up.
Oh, it's not going to.
No. T. Walker Duggan. Yeah. Okay.
I might try to get in there and be like, hey, I'm a...
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
But yeah, it was just so cool to like, when we did the rehearsals, for just the entire cast, most of the cast, Dominic, the Greg, was it Gary or Greg? I don't remember his name, but they were all literally just like square dancing in front of us. Also a really cool thing, the guy who's calling the moves for the square dance, he was so into it. Like he was just so happy that like people were actually doing this.
Tall or short?
The caller?
Mm-hmm.
He was kind of short.
It wasn't Stan?
No, this was like an actual dude, like from a square dancing.
Stan, who does it on Market Square, he's an actual dude who does it. Tiny little guy. Stan, yeah.
You want to go?
What?
Now I know how to square dance.
Huh?
Let's go square dance.
Okay. Whenever they bring it back to Market Square?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in.
You're going to have to teach me.
I absolutely will. It was so much fun.
Okay.
I loved it.
I have no, yeah.
You just stomp around to the beat.
Okay. Yeah, Stan the man. Yeah, Stan, he's tiny guy.
No, this guy was kind of short, but he he had all the quips of like do-si-do and it was so much fun. But Benicio during the rehearsals was like getting frustrated with him. He was like, "Can you just show us like what we're doing for the script? Like instead of like teaching us all these moves, can we just like go down the line of what we're doing?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." But it's just funny to like see him.
I kind of get both sides because I bet the caller guy is like, "Shit, dude, I have to do steps 1 through 24.
Yeah,
like, I can't do step 3, 7, 12." What's going
on screen? No, exactly.
Like, that's really fucking hard.
Yeah.
But I also get Benicio being like, "Dude, I don't want to have to learn 30. I don't want to have to do 24 to get there." That's good though. Is there some middle ground?
Yeah, exactly. So
okay.
But yeah, and
yeah, I'm happy to hear he's a nice guy.
I mean, like prior to this, like I downloaded this entire thing of like 30 different accents of like from all around like regions and dialects and stuff like that. Cause I was like, I want to be prepared. You know what I mean? Like
as a Southerner, it kills me hearing Southern accents in some things. Cause it's like, oh my God, come on.
Yeah.
Who was it? It was my buddy Adam Kennedy. Sorry, last name Stephanie Romer. And I made a Steel Magnolias reference, and he had never seen Steel Magnolias.
I've seen that one.
Okay, where he called somebody's name was Shelby, and I went Shelby, or however they did the awful.
Oh.
You remember that?
Yes.
How they did the awful accent.
Yep.
Sally Field.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, I don't understand. Oh, I sent him a GIF, and he was like, I don't know what that.
Yeah.
It's like, you've never seen Steel Magnolias? Weezer. I was like, that's actually a very good movie.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Despite, because Olympia Dukakis and, why am I blanking on her name? Shirley MacLaine. And, of course, Dolly.
Yeah.
Are great.
They're fantastic.
Like their accents are, Olympia and Shirley are not from down here, but they have great accents.
Well, hanging out with Dolly too probably helped.
But like Daryl Hannah, Julia Roberts. I think Julia Roberts is from like Texas or something.
Yeah.
And Sally Field, it's painful to listen to them.
Well, they're overcompensating, I think. For.
And I like all three of them. I like Sally Field and Daryl Hannah. I'm not a big Julia Roberts fan. I'm not a big Anne Hathaway fan. Okay. So you're doing extra stuff now, but this is a dumbass question, but you are eventually wanting to like
do bigger shit.
Yeah, be have bigger roles and stuff. And are you like talking and building up kind of like this network of people? Are you talking to people like, what do I need to do to get to that level? Like, I feel like I'm going to just say this how I think it. I feel like you almost at this point have to have a little bit of humility and go, I know I'm not there yet, and I'm not expecting to be there tomorrow. Yeah. But I would like to eventually get there. How do I do that?
Yeah.
I also don't want to take roles away from you, but I just want to, like, how do I get there?
Yeah.
So are you kind of working on that? I mean, do you have like a plan? Like, I want to be. I know in this world there is no plan.
I don't have a plan because Donut Shop comes first.
I know.
No, like my plan. Everyone says it takes 10 years to get to the level that that everyone wants to be at.
I also think you're coming at a fortunate time. We're talking about this drive to Atlanta, which is no joke. That drive to Atlanta is a beast. But you're also in this time to where it doesn't have to be L.A.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be Vancouver is another one.
Yeah.
Where they film a lot of TV shows and shit because it's cheaper to film up there.
Yeah.
But there's so much shit being filmed in Atlanta now that's like, fuck. Like, you can be a regional actor and make it.
Yeah.
Like, doing that.
No, exactly. And I mean, like, I've known people, like, I know people who were extras with me who have, like, just met a person and are like, you're perfect for this.
Yeah.
And I've actually have, like, legitimate work where they can show somebody them talking.
A reel.
Yeah,
something.
Exactly. So, I mean, like, I'm not trying to push anything into existence. I don't really have a plan. I'm just kind of doing it day by day. But I'm like, but I am talking to people who are the movie makers in a way. Yeah. And just trying to be nice and friendly and help people out because I know if
and willing.
Yeah, exactly.
Sense of being willing.
Yeah. Because I feel like if you're willing to, all the stuff that I've done doesn't pay a lot. Like it's $100 here, $100 there. But like I'm getting experience, I'm meeting people. And I know that, if I help somebody out who doesn't have a budget, then maybe one day when they do have a budget, they'll remember me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, they don't have a major here. I was going to say, if you looked around here to see if, like, student films and stuff, because I know they're constantly, but I hate to say, you'd probably be better served looking at Pellissippi for that, because they have a great video production department.
Yeah.
Than UT.
I mean, there's a lot of, like, specifically from SCAD. Yeah. There's a lot of roles being posted through SCAD. Okay. Also in Nashville.
Okay.
It's Belmont and
Belmont University.
Yeah. So Belmont does a lot of student films, and they get posted through this major like page where it gets sent out to agencies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Through Facebook groups too.
I think, isn't there a college in like Western North Carolina that has, might look at that too. Because there was a period, you know, the reason why Atlanta, I'm saying this more for people at home, not for you, but the reason why Atlanta is big, because all of a sudden, this happened, I think became a bigger thing about 15 years ago, where states gave tax credits to people to film there.
Mm-hmm.
That's why a lot of the early Marvel films were shot in Cleveland. And then a lot of stuff was filmed in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And I think Tennessee kind of fucked up because I think they turned that down.
They did.
Which is stupid. Because I think about, look at the state of Tennessee. It's 3 different states.
Yeah.
You got Memphis, which is all the marsh and the bottomland.
Yep.
You've got Nashville, which you could double as a bigger city.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Knoxville and East Tennessee with all the mountains. And then you got everything in between where you could do like shit in the woods and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's
you
a
can
no-brainer.
Shit in the woods.
Shit in the woods. Hey, trademark. That's my movie. Shit in
Boom.
the woods. I'm going to play Bear, the lead.
Yes. Can I audition for you? I'm just kidding.
Can you do a forward reverse 720 tumble?
Absolutely.
You got it.
Awesome.
Hey, kid, you're in.
Yes. I'd like to thank my academy.
Okay, but you are thinking like, no, eventually I would like to get to a point to where this is a thing.
Yeah. And I'm not being, unrealistic.
But you're also not like dumping everything and moving to LA
to
make your dreams
come true. It's only been like full force, full speed ahead for a year.
Okay.
Once from last November.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to be unrealistic, but I'm happy with where I am right now with the people that I've met. I have a huge group obviously in Atlanta because we've done a bunch of stuff together now. And then the people here are so nice. And there's a guy, Tony Caudell, who is like a huge networker. He has Tennessee Networkers something group on Facebook. I'm sorry, Tony. I freaking butchered it. But he gets all the information and he posts everything on there and is basically just a gigantic group for people who are in this group to just go in there and help each other out.
I think it's like, I know the donut shop is number one priority, but it's the same as me of like when you work for yourself, you can, I'm going to quote Kevin Smith, you can chase whimsy a little bit more than you would if you worked in a corporate office.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's having friends that are directors, they're like, hey, do you want to come do this? And there's most of the time I want to tell them, say, if you could have told me 3 days before, I probably could have done it.
Yeah. But
texting me at 10 o'clock the night before and I have to be there at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big no for me, dog. I can't do that. Oh, yeah.
And mine is like, okay, give me 15 minutes. I'll figure it out.
So the film I was in, I had to say a line of dialogue and I could not get it right.
Yeah.
To save my life. And God love them. I don't think they're going to listen to this, but I'm not going to mention their name. I don't know who wrote the script, but I was saying it how a person would say it, and it was written not how a person would say it. And I will go, how I'm saying it is fine. You're also not paying me. It's the middle of the summer. You have me in pants. How dare you? And just let me say it. Like I said something like, I said wouldn't as opposed to would not. Shit like that. And I was like, why are you being so precious with these words? What I'm saying also does not matter. Yeah. And is probably getting cut. It did not get cut. I was on the big screen.
Oh. Yeah. There you go.
I had a speaking role. That's what I'm on IMDb for.
Yes.
Is for that.
Yeah.
But it was last minute. Somebody dropped off. I will say the woman who was in the scene with me played my wife. Mm-hmm. Old enough to be my grandmother.
Oh.
Yep.
Don't you hate that?
Yeah.
So there was a movie that actually, it was a short that I was in, and my husband was an older man, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
come on, casting.
Well, what was funny is the people who saw it said, oh, I thought that was like your mom or something, because they never established it. I was like, because it didn't matter. I was buying a car from somebody at a used car dealership, and I could not, whatever the line was, to the point to where I had to like be sitting in a car, big dude, sitting in a car. The camera was in my face and got out of the car with me. And then I had to say like, I think 2 or 3 lines going back and forth with another dude. And I was like, this is not my...
I would not buy this car.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm an idiot. I draw pictures for a living. Don't make me say words. So I kept the thing in my back pocket. And I kept reading. And the camera people kept getting angry. And I was so nervous and shit scared. It was also my friend's first movie. To where I'll go, hey guys, calm the fuck down.
Tempers fly on these sets,
this is not what I do. Don't get angry at me. I'm just a fill-in. Also, hey guys, working guys, sound guy, do you think these words have to be exactly like this? Because if they don't, can you tell this person to get off my ass? So yeah.
There's a lot of cooks in the kitchen when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like, again, Kevin Smith. His was like, you have to read it exactly how I write it. And I was like, man, that would drive me absolutely bonkers. I was like, because if you want me to get something across, I can figure out how to get it across.
Yeah.
But I may not be able to say it exactly like how you... Although, you're talking about Brando, he always had an earworm in.
Yeah, I know.
Like, that's the funniest part.
Can we do that? Like,
yeah.
I want to do that.
I think Robert Downey Jr. did, too, in the Marvel films.
Stop it. No, he didn't.
Yeah. But I think what they were saying was...
Robert!
No, I think what they were saying, though, but for the Marvel films and a lot of films now, the script, you don't lock the script at the beginning of the film. It changes so much.
It does, yeah.
That a lot of people can't keep up. And you could have all the lines memorized, and then all of a sudden it's like...
it changes.
It changes, and you have 10 minutes to memorize this. Mm-hmm. But I've heard tell of some people, they're like savants. We're like, okay, give me a minute.
Well, if you've been doing it, like, almost every day, and like... You can. I feel like you can train your brain.
So I'll tell you a funny Kevin Smith story. So, please tell me, you've seen Clerks?
Yes.
Okay, thank Christ. Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Okay.
So he did Clerks for $27,500 in a convenience store with him and his friends.
Yeah.
That blew up, which led him to make Mallrats, which was a bigger film, but still not a huge film.
Mm-hmm.
And then he made, that did not do well in the box office. So then he did Chasing Amy with his friends who were not big stars at the time. And those friends were Ben Affleck, Jason Lee. Why am I blanking on her name? The minute I see her name, I'm going to get angry. Joey Lauren Adams.
Okay.
I got it before I looked
There
it
you
up.
go. He did.
But they weren't huge stars at that point, and they did this independent film for like $300,000. Chasing Amy. It's a really good film. Do not know if it holds up in 2021.
Okay.
Because spoiler alert, she is a lesbian.
Oh.
And Ben Affleck fall in love.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know in 2021. Anyway. So then that does good at the box office, but the critics, it's through the roof. So all of a sudden they're like, oh, he can make a movie.
Yeah.
So they give him a shit ton of money. They give him like $20 million to make Dogma, which is this big film about Catholicism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So his buddy, Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah.
That's just a friend of his that he grew up with.
That's awesome.
Who was in Mallrats and who is, had prominent roles in Mallrats, Chasing Amy.
Mm-hmm.
And but he's like, he does drugs, he drinks, he doesn't memorize his lines, it's all this shit. So they go to make Dogma, and he was like telling Jay, he was like, you got to get your shit together on this film. We got real actors, like Alan Rickman, not like Ben Affleck. We have real actors. Like, he loves picking on Affleck.
That's awesome.
And he was like, they invented acting over there.
Yeah.
And if you don't have your shit together, he played Hans Gruber. Like, it will not end well.
Yeah.
And he said, so what he did on every film was he would rehearse with actors and everything. Then he would pause and be like, okay, now I got to go work with Jay.
Yeah.
On his own. So he does that for Dogma, and he's like, all right, you ready to run your lines? He's like, yep. And he's like, you don't have your script in front of you. He's like, don't need it. Got it memorized. And he's like, what? And he says, try me. So he starts running lines. And Jay is giving back Jay's lines. He's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
What is happening? did he not smoke away all the, whatever it was? And then he was like, that's great. You've got all your lines memorized. Nope. Got the entire script memorized. He's like, what? He's like, try me. So Kevin Smith started running Jay's lines, and he was reading back other people's lines. And he was like, what the fuck? He was like, I don't want to let that Rickman guy down.
Oh, shit.
That's adorable.
Awesome.
That is adorable. He was like, I don't want to let that Rickman guy down.
Yeah.
And he said him and Kevin Smith has talked about this. He's like, everybody loves Jay because he's just a happy-go-lucky.
Yeah.
He's like, him and Alan Rickman were palling around. Can you ever in a million years imagine Hans Gruber,
no.
Jay Muse, a guy who was a dumbass that he grew up with, were buddies. He also said Alan Rickman was one of the nicest human beings on the planet. And I was like, damn it, why do you have to die?
Yeah, I know.
Couldn't you have taken 45 instead of Alan Rickman? Thank you for getting that.
Yeah. I was like, who are you going to say? Who are you going to say?
Yeah. I could have said Justin Timberlake, but I didn't.
Oh, no. JT.
I'm just kidding. Okay, so you are wanting to go to roles.
Yeah.
Are there people that you look up to? Like from when you're young or from now that you're kind of into it? Are there people's careers you're like, I would like to have a career like that? Like maybe not being like, do you want to be like the leading person? Or do you want to be like the character actor that comes in and just knocks it out of the park every, like,
can I do all of that?
Okay. Because I think a character I think of like Paul Giamatti or John Goodman.
Yeah.
They're just like, everything they're in, they're great.
Yeah.
They're usually not the lead, but they murder every time they're in.
No, they do.
Yeah.
Prior to Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. was like the person who I looked up to. Like, and he there's a movie that he did called Chaplin, I think, and it was just like amazing.
Yeah. Did you ever see Kiss Kiss Bang Bang?
No. I know. God, quit throwing movies I haven't seen, which is probably all of them.
Well, see, here's the thing. Now you have this podcast to listen back to.
I do, yeah. And I'm like, okay.
So Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is the film that he did that got him Iron Man.
Oh, okay.
I'll come back.
So this is recent?
Daniel Craig. No, it's 2006. Shane Black, the guy who wrote the Lethal Weapon films, a bunch of the action films in the 80s, he wrote and directed that film. And Robert Downey Jr. does he play like an out-of-work actor? And he gets involved, and it's like a film noir.
Okay. So
Val
I'm going to have
Kilmer's
to,
in it, Michelle Monaghan. It is great.
Okay.
It is great.
Yeah.
But that kind of got him Iron Man because, he was on drugs and getting arrested and all that.
And it's like every time I said, like, who's your favorite? I was like, Robert Downey Jr. It's like, oh, he's a cokehead. I'm like, or
not
crackhead.
Anymore. Not anymore.
Well, yeah, but they're all like, oh, that's like the first thing. I'm like, what? So what? Like, okay, cool. But like he did awesome shit.
That's funny that you love him, but you don't watch the Marvel film.
I don't.
The first Iron Man film is a tremendous film.
Okay.
Just from a film perspective, it is the way it's handled is very good.
There's another one. Have you seen Wonder Boys?
Yeah.
Like, I love him in that one.
I'm trying to think, was that?
It was Tobey Maguire was in it. Katie Holmes.
Come on, it's me.
I know. I don't know the director.
I think it was Curtis Hanson. I don't think it was Sam Mendes, but I think it was Curtis Hanson.
It was so good. Like, I love that
Are you
movie.
looking it up?
I am.
If it was Curtis Hanson, have you ever seen L.A. Confidential?
Yes.
Oh,
I love that
Curtis
movie.
Hanson.
Okay. Yeah. So I've seen. So okay, I like that. It is Curtis Hanson. You're right. Look at you.
I'm a fucking nerd. I don't know what
a director nerd. I love it though. I'm gonna have to like.
But he also did 8 Mile, which I'm like.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I didn't see that one. Because everyone was like, "You got to see 8 Mile." Like, I don't.
No,
I'm good.
Fuck that. I hate Eminem. I hate Eminem with the fire of 1,000 suns.
Don't hold back, bud.
Yeah. We're in hour 7 of the podcast. I don't hold back starting in hour 7. Wonder Boys was very good. I think that was based on was it a Chabon book? It was based on a famous author's book. Yeah, that was one that I think I missed it in the theater. I don't know a polite way to say this. The trailer made it look a little too cutesy for me.
Oh yeah, I never saw it in a movie theater. I just like.
But my old roommate, she had it on DVD, and she's like, "You have to." I was like, man, I don't want to.
It's a good one.
And then I watched it. I was like, "Fuck, that's a good movie." L.A. Confidential, I've seen a lot.
Yes,
that is
another great one.
Tremendous film. That in 2021 would have a lot of problems.
Yeah.
So it's so. I don't know if this is funny, and this is going to sound self-congratulatory, but so I grew up around all. God, every time I said I'm a big guy in this, take a drink, you'd be fucking hammered in the first 30 minutes. Like, I grew up around my dad and my uncles and my grandfather, and they were also big dudes.
Yeah.
And it was almost like, I just remember Dad being like, you never hit a woman, you never hit a kid. Like, you don't even, you know. There was no domestic violence in our family. Like, that just didn't happen.
Yeah.
But it was almost like we have to protect people. Not saying women can't protect it, but also, I'm fucking 6'7" and 285 pounds.
You could help out.
I have gotten fussed at for walking women back to their car. They're like, I don't need you to do that. I was like, it's not about you not being able to, but if I'm standing next to you, nobody is going to walk up. Nobody. Also, I'll go, I've been in a lot of fights in my life. You got to trust me. I'm going to help. Like, but I have been fussed at.
Thank you. For being that person.
Well, that's what I say, self-aggrandizing. But when I saw L.A. Confidential for the first time, seeing how Bud White reacted, like when he broke the chair, I was like, oh, that's us. Yeah. That's us right there. Anytime we see anything, it's like, I will break you in half. You do not. My buddy Greg White and he has a ton of stories about when we used to go to metal shows. He's like, I've seen you put a lot of dudes into walls. I was like, I did put a lot of dudes into walls. Yes. There was one time where, when I tell you the main 3 bands, middle act was Bolt Upright, who were dog shit and dog shit human beings. They asked women to come up on stage, and then the lead singer groped, pulled up shirts to the 4 women that were on stage.
Oh, that's cool.
Which I'm sitting there going, can I get past security? I can't get past security. I was like, I want to go up there.
And they just let him do that?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So I'll tell you who the main act was afterwards to make it funny in the end. But so one of the women comes off stage and her boyfriend runs up to her. And her boyfriend is also with a taller guy. And I'm with Greg and Mike Taylor. Always got to say last names. And I see him go up to her and I was like, oh, okay. And so I run up and I stand and he is like yelling and he starts to put his finger up. And I said, I leaned in. He was a smaller. First thing I did was look at Greg and Mike and point at the big guy. And they're like, like they have my back. And I leaned down. I was like, before you can even raise your hand to hit her, I will fucking end you. And he was like,
Jody.
Yeah, I got very angry. And he kind of looked at me and he's still angry. And then he just stormed off. She didn't say thank you or anything. She just walked away and was crying. And I was like,
the fuck?
Cool.
Damn it.
Yeah, well, I don't care, but it was just kind of
I know, but like, man. Yeah.
So, Greg has a lot of stories
of
me getting involved in situations. Hell, it happened at the Millen Mine like 3 years ago. I saw a guy push a girl, and I was like, oh, okay, we're doing this.
Yeah.
And then I stood there, same thing, like that, just watching, because they were both shit-faced. And my friend Catherine walked up to me. She was like, hey, Jody, how are you doing? I was good. She's like, what's happening? I was like, he just pushed her. She was like, oh, okay. She walked away. She came back with the head security guy, and he gave me a hug, and he was like a side hug. And he was like, we got it now, big guy. And all of a sudden, I saw like 4 guys start to enclose. I was like, okay, cool. And I just walked away.
Yes.
I was just like, okay, see ya. And now that guy looks for me at every show, and he's like, we getting in trouble? I was like, I'm there, man. I got your back, man. It's so funny.
I love it.
But, and I also, walking out of Barley's, this happened 3 years ago on, what's it called in March? New Orleans Mardi Gras.
Oh, yeah.
I was seeing a show at Barley's, walking out with a woman, and we heard this couple under the viaduct screaming.
Oh, shit.
And so I was like, I'm parked over here, and she's like, I'm parked over there. I was like, let's make our way over there.
Yeah.
So we start making our way, and then all of a sudden we saw the guy push the girl, and she started punching him in the face.
Oh, my God.
So I took off in a run, and the guy was not a small guy, and I reached over him, squeezed him, picked him up, and turned him around.
Oh, my God, Cody.
40 something at this point.
God.
And this is like 1 a.m, and I picked him up. As I turned around, I was like, "We're not going to do that."
Yeah.
And he was like, as his feet were coming off the ground, he started going, "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm sorry," because he could just feel like,
yeah.
And he was probably 6'2", 250 or something.
my
I just
God.
picked him off the ground and I turned him around. I was like, "We're not going to do that, are we? I'm sorry, I'm so sorry." It's like, okay. You just got to be cool, man.
Yeah.
Like that. And she started coming up, started screaming at me, calling me a no good motherfucker and all that. So I just turned back around and started squeezing him tighter and went, "You need to shut the fuck up because you two can't handle your shit. You need to go that way." And he was like, honey, please stop. Please stop. Because I just kept squeezing him tighter. Like, I can't hit you, woman. Ashley. Get up.
Yeah.
Like, but it's just
hit her.
But yeah, she put her finger in my face and shit. And at that point I was squeezing him so tight. He's like, "You have to stop. You have to stop. You have to."
Yeah.
Like, and I made her walk away.
Yeah.
And then I let him go the other way. And about that point, some other people came up and a dude started getting in that when I let him go. This other dude came over. He's like, "Eh!" And I was like, "Step the fuck off. You're not involved. Go away."
What in the friggin' world, man?
So the guy took off one way, the girl took off that way. And that guy and 2 girls were standing there, and my friend. And that guy kept talking shit. And I just looked at him and said, "Shut the fuck up. Just shut up. You're not involved. Shut up."
Yeah.
And so they started walking away. And then he started looking at her. And she started looking at him. And they were slowly making their way back to one another. And I looked at dude. I was like, "I'm out. Ashley, see ya."
Yeah.
I took off. I was like, they're on their own. Fuck them. God, what led us down that path?
You're going to tell me who the main act was.
Oh, Bolt Upright.
Oh.
No, Bolt Upright was second. Vanilla Ice on his heavy metal tour.
Shut up. No, my God.
It was a great show. But I can't remember what got us down that rabbit hole. People you look up to, Robert Downey Jr. Shit,
Yeah,
I have no idea. I have no idea. Too much coffee, not enough water. My brain is firing 5,000 miles an hour.
We were talking about Wonder Boys, but I don't know.
Okay. We were talking about Wonder Boys. LA Confidential.
LA Confidential.
And
That's
Bud
what it
White
was.
breaking that was my first.
Yep.
Curtis Hanson. He's done a lot of other things that are very good. He also died way too young too. Because he's been dead, I think, like at least 10 years.
Oh, wow.
If not longer. Okay.
Yeah.
Here, we'll end on this. Dream to work with.
Oh.
Are there people that you're like, man, I would love to work with this person? Actor, director, writer?
Oh, man. I would love to be in a Coen Brothers film.
Okay.
Like, I just think they're geniuses. Are they even doing movies anymore?
I didn't want to burst your bubble.
Shit, one of them died.
No. So you got Joel and Ethan Coen.
Oh, God.
So apparently, you know what the new one is with them, right? They're doing Macbeth, but Denzel is playing Macbeth and Francis is playing.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I heard about this.
So apparently, they've worked together forever. Mm-hmm. That's another film. I watched Raising Arizona when I was like 7 or 8.
So good.
I think I saw it in the theater. Like,
the movie's so good.
They also have such a weird track record. Like, there for a while, I was joking. I was like, they do one great film, one terrible film. One great film, one terrible film.
But their terrible films are really good, too.
No, they're not. No, they're not. You will never get me to admit that Intolerable Cruelty or the one with Tom Hanks where they dig in the old woman's... No.
Okay.
No.
I didn't see those.
But apparently Joel is going to still keep making films, but Ethan wants to do more plays and directing and theater. He doesn't want to do films.
I missed my chance.
Oh. Well, no, this means that in 10 years they can make a comeback together.
Yeah. I just think they're like such a great team and they just produce really great movies, but apparently there's some are shit.
They've got more good ones than bad ones.
Yes.
I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
But also, here's one thing I admire about the crappy films they do. They take chances.
Yeah.
And maybe that's also why I don't like Intolerable Cruelty. It's because they didn't take a chance.
Oh.
Like, I can respect the black and white one they did with Billy Bob and Scarlett Johansson. called like The Man Who Wasn't There.
Okay.
Like I can respect that one because they tried to do something.
Yeah.
But like Intolerable Cruelty is Catherine Zeta-Jones and George Clooney, and it's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
It's just a rom-com.
Oh.
But it's just a rom-com.
Rom-coms don't really work out with them. I think, and I really love the way that, I mean, they use the same actors, and I just feel like it would be such a dream to just work in that, like, sphere, I guess. Like, them being the directors, writer-directors, working with Frances McDormand, working with, no.
But I kind of feel like, so my thing would be, then you need to find who the next people are like that, and you become in that stable of actors. Yeah. Because I think, who is it? I think Villeneuve does that now. The guy who did Dune.
Yeah.
Because one of my favorite actors right now, you've seen a movie with him because you mentioned it on this podcast, is Somebody Unexpected, Dave Bautista.
Oh, yes.
He is awesome.
He is awesome.
And he was in Blade Runner 2049.
Uh-huh.
And he was actually... So Blade Runner 2049, before that came out, Jake Scott, Ridley Scott's son, Ridley Scott did the original Blade Runner. Just connecting these dots in case you didn't know this, because I am a fucking nerd. Jake Scott directed 3 shorts that led up to Blade Runner 2049.
Okay.
That were released. You can find them on YouTube. One of them is just about Dave Bautista's character. One of them's just about Jared Leto's character. And then one of them's an anime. But the one with Dave Bautista, it's like, fuck, he is a good actor. Of course he's a good actor.
Yeah.
But like him and Guardians of the Galaxy, him and Spectre, again, drink up. Big guy respecting big guy. Like the way he wears a suit made me go buy a suit.
Yes.
And him, there's a point where he's walking through the train and he literally just busts through a door and door frame because he doesn't fit through it. So he just says, fuck
like,
it.
Fuck
and
it.
Hits, I was like, yeah.
I love that. Yeah. I've done that.
That's my guy. Yeah. That's my guy. But he is in Dune. So like, I think Villeneuve, and I think a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
That they have their people.
Yeah.
So that
is an old school answer from me. I just realized
Coen
Brothers. Yeah. Can I?
Yeah. Can you do? And are there actors? Because you mentioned Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Right?
Robert Downey Jr., Cillian Murphy. I would love to work with Cillian Murphy.
I didn't realize how short he was. I always thought he was like 6'1", 6'2", but he's like 5'7" or something.
I didn't know that.
I only know that because in Inception, because Leo is like 6 or 6'1",
yeah,
and he just towers over. I was like, what the fuck? I thought he was a lot bigger than that. Cillian Murphy's awesome.
He looks, in Peaky Blinders, he looks pretty tall. I guess it's...
I think it's how skinny he is.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, the first thing I saw him in, 28 Days Later, like he looked like a tall, rail-thin dude. Okay, Cillian Murphy, Robert Downey Jr., the Coen Brothers. You're making a hell of a film.
Thanks. There's some Belgian, I don't know, have you ever, so there's a show on Netflix called, shit, see?
Love it. I love it. Belgian?
Belgian. It's Thieves of the Woods, something like that. No. It's a series, yeah. It's Belgian and the same. All right, so those actors are so good because there's another show that is Belgian that if you have Amazon Prime, you can like do a free trial for this.
Thieves of the Wood.
Yeah, I really liked it, but but I think I liked it more because there's a show called Call Boys that is also Belgian. Have you seen Call Boys? The same actors. Call Boys is a comedy about 3 escorts and their secretary. And it's hilarious. And then you have Thieves of the Wood, and they're the exact same group of actors, but then they're in like a dramatic, like historical.
Yeah, it's in 18th century.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think the reason I like that is just because the same group of people, you could just see them completely shift their acting.
Okay.
But anyway.
Sure. I added both of those. They'll play
Call Boys?
Call Boys and Thieves of the Wood. Thieves of the Wood I might struggle with. I don't like a lot of historic films for whatever reason. It's not my
I think
thing.
you'll like Call Boys.
I'll watch Call Boys.
Yeah.
It also looks, just the artwork for it on there looks like it's dripping in 80s cocaine-ness.
It's more 70s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
Late 70s cocaine-ness, yes.
Okay. Have you seen... Damn it. I forgot stuff all the time.
Yeah, like... There's so much going on that it's hard to remember people's names.
Okay. Nope. That didn't give me anything.
But Matteo Simoni is the main guy from Thieves of the Wood, like that Belgian actor.
Okay.
Like he goes from Call Boys of being like this dummy like dude who is just ridiculous to like the main character of playing a historical figure, and he's so good.
The Nice Guys with Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe. Mm-hmm. That's another Shane Black film that's very good, but it's set in the 70s. That's what made me think of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice Guys.
Because I just saw something. Is there a film that? Oh shit! You may have just answered this. That you think if people looked at you, they would not expect you to like it, or hold it in such high esteem.
Oh.
Can I give you mine real quick?
Yeah.
Crazy Stupid Love.
What?
I think Crazy Stupid Love is amazing. And I think it doesn't get enough credit for being a very good film.
Yeah.
Because it seems like it made some money, and nobody thinks about it.
I like it.
But I think if people looked at me, they would not expect.
They wouldn't think that was your favorite.
I've got, not favorite, but up there. I've got the two that I think are funny. Do you have a top 5 films?
I think I have top 5, yeah.
Okay. So my top 5 are Shawshank Redemption. Let's see how many you've seen.
Good one.
Unforgiven.
Nope.
Really? Clint Eastwood, Morgan Freeman, Gene Hackman, 1992.
No, I haven't seen it.
12 Angry Men.
I haven't seen that.
Wow.
I know. That's on my list, though, for real.
Okay.
Like, I do need to see that.
When Harry Met Sally.
Okay.
Back to the Future.
All right. Nice.
So but the film I've seen maybe the most in my life is maybe Serendipity.
Oh, I do like that one.
And that's one that I think I've gotten shit on for liking that film. I actually had one woman I dated that she sat on that very couch and yelled at me for liking that film. She's like, that film was so stupid. And I was like, but she loved The Lobster. And I was like, The Lobster sucks. That is the most overwrought, hipster ass. I have to say I like an art film. Okay, so that's why I say like Crazy Stupid Love, Serendipity, even When Harry Met Sally is pretty much a perfect film. It's also under an hour and a half, which is insane.
It's a good date movie.
Yeah. So is there a film, like I would expect like John Wick, if you knew John Wick would be in there. Like is there something?
The Lobster.
Oh, fuck The Lobster. I hated that film. Did you like that film?
Like is not. I would not say like. I think it was entertaining.
I think that's one that everyone around me was like, "This is the greatest film ever." I was like,
"No,
it was.
Like it was.
Everybody is awful in this film.
Yeah.
Nobody.
It wasn't. No. Okay. I completely actually forgot that movie existed until you said that. Yeah. Honestly, I was entertained.
Okay, I was not entertained. I was so angry.
It was one of those like late night, like 2 a.m. thing. I'm like, let's watch The Lobster.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was those. Yeah.
Okay. So unexpected film. And then top 5.
Unexpected. I'm gonna have to think about the unexpected one for a bit because I.
Okay. Top 5.
Top 5. Okay, so Midnight in Paris. I love the 1930s and 40s. Like it's my thing.
I just struggle because Woody Allen. I can't do Woody Allen. I've never seen Manhattan.
Oh, Manhattan's good.
I've never seen Manhattan. There's a few of the films from that era I've never seen. And I was like, it's too late now. He's a deplorable human being. So, sorry. Midnight in Paris. A lot of great actors doing great shit. Like I think his name is Corey Stoll.
Yes. As Hemingway?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was good. Yeah. I just love the fact that like just the concept of it, going back in time and being in like.
I also don't like Owen Wilson.
Oh.
So that's another thing. Like, yeah. I think we found another actor you'd like to work with.
No.
Oh.
No. That was me being like, Owen Wilson. I forgot that he was in it.
So I think that double, like, Owen Wilson. But
he's not.
That's one of those.
Hey, guys. That's my.
Wow. I think I liked everything else in that film.
Yeah.
Like the cinematography, the
Marion
eras
Cotillard
that it was
is
shot.
so good in it.
All of that was great, but I was like, if it wasn't Woody Owen Wilson, I'd probably like this one. Okay, so Midnight in Paris.
I know, but it's
no.
So
Good. It's your
okay. Double Indemnity.
Okay. I saw that at the Tennessee Theater.
Really?
Yep.
That's a good one. That would have been awesome.
That's another weird one in that Fred. I grew up with him being the dad on My Three Sons.
Yeah.
And then seeing him in that film, and there was one other film where he played a bad guy, and it was like, I don't like this. He's a good actor. I don't like that. I like the very warm dad. It's like, have you ever seen A Face in the Crowd with Andy Griffith?
Mm-mm. Yeah.
So when I was showing films at the Central Collective, in January of 2017, when 45 got sworn in, I showed 2 films, A Face in the Crowd and Network. And the people who came had not seen either one of them.
Yeah.
Because I showed them on 2 different dates. And I was like, oh, you all don't understand why I'm showing this. Oh, shit.
Oh.
And then it got to the end, they're like, holy shit. A Face in the Crowd is about a good old boy country southern guy who becomes big on the radio and starts ascending the political realm.
Oh, God.
And Andy Griffith plays an evil piece of shit.
Oh.
And I was like, I don't like
I'm going to
this.
have to watch that.
I love Andy Griffith. I don't want to know this. I don't want to know. Walter Matthau's in it. Patricia Neal is from
yeah.
Here in it. It's a great film. And Network. Have you ever seen Network?
Mm-mm.
I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. About the guy who gets on TV and goes nuts.
Okay.
And that ends up getting... And you watch it and you're like... You realize it came out in the 70s and you're like, oh shit, this explained... what's it called? Reality TV.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, Double Indemnity. Midnight in Paris.
It's a tie between The Apartment.
Okay.
And Some Like It Hot.
Okay.
Because they're kind of the same.
That's hard.
Yeah. So I don't know like which one.
Yeah.
3A and 3B.
Okay. Because I also feel like that's what kind of mood are you in? Because I feel like Some Like It Hot is a lot more fun and romantic. And The Apartment is kind of sad and romantic. So it kind of depends on the mood. Like one of them it's number 3 during the summertime. And one of them's number 3 during the wintertime.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yes. I like that. I like that a lot.
So it's 3S and 3W.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Shit. I don't know.
Coen Brothers? Any of theirs?
Oh, yeah. Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou? I thought was really good.
That, you know what's funny? Clooney. Mm-hmm. That and Ocean's 11. The first time I saw both of them in theater, I absolutely hated them.
Really?
And they just wore on me over time. I was like, holy shit, those are great movies.
Yeah. Well, I think John Turturro is really so good.
Oh, brother, it's Tim Blake Nelson, where he goes, well, I want to do, Clooney goes, well, I think we should do this. And John Turturro says, well, I think we should do this. And they both look at Dan Moore and goes, I'm with you, fellas.
Yeah.
That's still one of the...
Yeah.
Oh, God.
See, you like it.
Oh, no, I love it. It and Ocean's 11, I hated when I walked out of the theater, but I loved them in the long run. I will tell you, the original Ocean's 11, there is a scene, and I'm going to stand up and you're going to get to see my acting chops.
Let's see it. Oh, my God, I'm excited.
So there's a scene, and I'm just going to have to project a little bit.
Yeah.
Dean Martin.
Uh-huh.
So they're robbing, spoiler alert, they're robbing casinos.
No shit.
Yeah. So there's a scene.
Uh-huh.
Dean Martin is walking up to the door.
Uh-huh.
I don't mean to yell at you, but I'm
Yeah.
He's walking up to the door, and he's Dean Martin with a cigarette in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, he sees cops coming the other way, and there's bushes over here. And he literally does this. He goes. And the cops pass by, and I swear to God, let's say you're the camera. They pass by, and he goes. looks directly in the camera and keeps on walking.
Fourth wall break.
And I was like, only Dean Martin could do that.
Yes.
Only Dean. But the fact that he just turned, and then he's in like a gray suit.
Yeah.
He's in there smoking a cigarette.
Like, no big deal.
It's the funniest thing in the world. I was like, and I swear he looked at, maybe he didn't look at the camera, but I swear he looked at the camera. I was like, that's fucking amazing.
He probably did.
That's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So Coen Brothers, Oh Brother.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, like, I mean, everyone's going to say Citizen Kane, but, like, it was good for
No, it's
a while.
still great. But
Yeah.
I feel like that is like 2001 A Space Odyssey. I have to be in a mood to sit down and watch those. Mm-hmm. Whereas I feel like, because I just saw it over there, Heat. Have you ever seen Heat with De Niro and Pacino?
No.
Michael Mann. That is one I can put on at any time and just fucking love it.
Yeah.
It's a LA crime movie from the 90s that I saw in the theater twice. But yeah, it's De Niro, Pacino, Val Kilmer. Excuse me. Everyone in it is somebody.
Tombstone.
Tombstone's a great film. I did find out something in the last few years. I deep dove on it a little bit. That there's a director listed, but apparently Kurt Russell actually directed that film.
Really?
Yeah, he stepped in and directed it. I think he's an underrated actor.
He is. Foul Play. Okay, so Foul Play, can I?
Oh, with Chevy Chase?
No, not Foul Play. Shit. Foul Play was good, but I'm talking about
Overboard?
Overboard.
With him and Goldie Hawn?
Yes.
I saw that film way too many times when I was a kid.
That's the thing. Like, every time it's on TV, I'm like, all right, I found found what I'm watching.
Damn it. You just beat me to that's a great question is what is a film? I think Rich Eisen asks that a lot. He's like, what is a film that if it's on, I've got a list of 300 that I could tell you. Including 300. No, I'm just kidding. I could give you a list like another dad film is The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. So there's the original in the 70s with Robert Shaw. And can you hand me that black remote there? Robert Shaw and Walter Matthau. And Jerry Stiller.
Oh. And
then they remade it. Tony Scott remade it in the 2000s with Denzel Washington and John Travolta. And do not watch that. We can no longer be friends.
I don't like George Travolta or George Travolta.
I will not. I'm pointing at her. I will not go square dancing if you watch that version.
I will not. Because I need you.
That was too easy.
To go square dancing with me.
Yeah. I want to play. So what's funny is I showed that at the Central Collective. And I was telling Sean Pointner, I was like, man, there's this film I so want you to watch. I think you would love it. Like, it's such a great film. It's one my dad showed me back in the day that I can watch it at any time and I'm in. And I was kind of explaining to him it's a train robbing film. There we go. It's a train robbing film, and it's got Robert Shaw from Jaws.
Yeah.
Walter Matthau is one of my favorite actors. There's a photo of him right there.
Yes.
Which I'll show you that photo when we get done. But I said, this will sell you on this film. This is the opening theme.
Okay.
Before anything, this is what plays.
I'm ready.
And Sean looked at me 5 seconds in and went, in. Ah, damn it. This is not an official sponsored ad.
This is so good.
This is stupid. Damn it, YouTube.
Oh, hell yeah.
Wait for it. Like, it's more than 5 seconds, but when the second part comes in, Sean looked at me.
Oh, hell yeah.
Sean was like, in. It is dripping with 70-ness.
Oh, my God.
This is a great film. And it's this group of guys. I'll let this play as a bed underneath.
Okay.
A group of guys named Mr. Brown, Mr. Blue.
Oh.
Stole.
I wonder where that came from. Tarantino.
That's why I struggle with Tarantino.
Yeah.
Because he steals so much.
It's an homage.
They steal a train in the New York City, and this is dirty New York, 70s New York.
My kind of New York.
Yeah, they steal a train and they want $1 million. I think it's $1 million. And Walter Matthau's character is like the head of the train police or whatever, and they are going back and forth via the radio. And Robert Shaw right there, who was Quint in Jaws, is fucking terrifying. And what's funny is the 4 guys that are the Mr. Brown, Mr. Whatever. I want to make sure I get this guy's name right. And I'll let you listen to that.
Fucking love it.
Yeah. And that plays throughout. Like, oh God, there it is. So the 4 guys, Robert Shaw plays Mr. Blue. Martin Balsam plays Mr. Green. If you saw him, you'd probably recognize him.
Okay.
Hector Elizondo.
Okay.
Who's young and already bald. You know Hector Elizondo?
No, but I feel like I should. Oh, that guy. Yeah.
He plays Mr. Gray.
Okay.
And then Mr. Brown is played by this guy named Earl Hinman.
Okay.
You will know Earl Hinman more if I did... I'm trying to remember his name on the show. If I did this. Howdy Ho.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
From
Home
Tim
Improvement.
Allen Show. He was the neighbor.
Home Improvement guy.
Saw his face.
Yeah.
And you see his face in that film. Like,
all right. Finally, it's about time.
Yeah. But yeah, Jerry Stiller is in it. It is.
Oh, Jerry Stiller's amazing.
He plays, and the back and forth between him and Matthau.
Yeah.
Is so great.
I'm going to watch that tonight. I have to now because I got it stuck in my head.
The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. It is a great, like, heist film. And the end, it has one of the best endings in a film ever. Like, it's just tremendous. Okay, we never got to number 5, I don't think, but that's okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
Be thinking on that. Did you think of this is unexpected? It's more like Aliens. I feel like Aliens or something, you know.
Yeah.
No?
No, not Aliens. I don't know.
Do you like horror?
I do like horror.
I don't like horror.
Like, it has to be, like, I hate the,
Torture
like,
porn?
Cape Fear.
Yeah.
Like, is really
thriller.
the old school Cape Fear. Like, none of this, like, Saw shit. Like, I fucking hate torture movies. Like, ugh.
So I only have like 4 or 5 horror movies that I stand behind. It's like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay.
It's still a tremendous film. The original Halloween is still a tremendous film. But, like...
You don't like original Halloween 13 or 14 or whatever number we're on?
With Rob Zombie?
Yeah.
Saw that shit in the theater. That has one of the most brutal fight scenes I've seen in a film. Him and Ken Foree, who's also a giant dude, in a bathroom stall.
Oh.
Just beating the shit out. I was like, this is uncomfortable. There's a film called Frailty that Bill Paxton directed and Matthew McConaughey.
Okay.
From like 2000, 2001. It's very good. It's more of a thriller. The Descent.
Okay.
It's about
I
these
feel like I've seen that
4
one.
women who are in North Carolina, but it's really the UK.
Okay.
And they go underground, and it turns out that they're people who got trapped underground, and they have become cannibals, and they can't see.
Oh.
It's pretty graphic on violence. I hate the violence, you know, that stuff. The Babadook is very good.
Okay.
That's a more recent one. I think Australian.
Do you like Stephen King?
Yeah. Oh, Session 9.
Okay.
Session 9, Peter, can't pull his name. Peter something. Peter Molyneux, maybe. He's an Irish actor. You'd recognize him if you saw him. Also, David Carradine. Do you know him?
Mm-hmm.
CSMA. And Josh Lucas, who's been in a ton of shit. They're in it. It's these guys cleaning out a insane asylum.
Oh, God.
Yes. And it's all during the day. And it's one of the most creepy and terrifying films.
The Taking of... No. Session
9.
Session 9. Okay.
So, and one of the things in it is one of the guys find these tapes of the interviews with the crazy people. And it plays like eerily. Oh. And it's so fucking creepy.
Ugh.
Stephen King, yes. I love The Shining. But even though The Shining, Kubrick is not like the book.
Yeah. I like Needful Things.
I don't think I ever saw Needful Things. There's a lot. I don't like gore, and I'm sure it's not, or I don't like jump scares. So
no, this one is more like the devil comes into the town and like
Yeah.
opens up a pawn shop, and then like people start pawning their belongings, and then it like causing chaos. And
that may be one I can watch.
yeah.
But like, what is it? What's the one? Pet Cemetery. I was like,
Oh.
really? I don't want to.
The Pet Cemetery.
I don't want to see any of that. I will tell you.
That was pretty funny.
Oh my God.
It's campy.
No, I don't care. One of my favorite books by him is called Cell.
Oh, okay.
That got turned into an awful movie with John Cusack and Samuel L. Jackson.
Okay.
But it's about all of a sudden this thing happens and anybody who's on a cell phone gets hit with this sound and it turns them into like they're all of one mind and they're almost like zombies, but they're not really zombies.
Oh, okay.
And it's the people who didn't. And it's a guy trying to find his son who he doesn't know if he is infected or not.
Oh.
And it's a great book, but it got turned into a shitty movie. But it's very good. Okay. I think I have given you enough homework. All right.
No Country for Old Men was another good one. There you go. That might be the one that
number 5.
No, the one that's unexpected. Maybe you think that would be unexpected for me?
Maybe.
No Country for Old Men.
I saw that shit in the theater with my buddy the Todd, who's a big Cormac McCarthy fan.
Yeah, I love Cormac McCarthy. I mean, I know he's twisted, but
Well, they keep talking about making Blood Meridian into a film. I was like, you can't do that shit.
No,
there's no way you could do that.
No, you
shit.
can't.
I think I've read everything by him except for the Border trilogy.
Okay.
That
was okay.
Yeah. Shit. No Country for Old Men, when we saw it in the theater, the Todd had read the book.
Yeah.
And he was like, the funniest thing to me about that movie is the only thing that everything was exactly like it was in the book, except for one thing.
Yeah.
He said, in the book, the most cinematic scene is when Llewellyn has the shootout in the hotel.
Yeah.
And he was like, and they didn't film that. He was like, that cracks me up. That in the book, that's the most like
iconic
film-like thing.
Yeah.
And they didn't show it. He was like, that's kind of
I wonder
ballsy.
why.
It's probably because it's Coen Brothers. So like, we're not going to do that.
It was Coen Brothers.
Yeah. Oh my God. All right. That's how we're going to end this. Thank you for being on.
Absolutely. I had the best time.